the off-roader has evolved with hybrid power while inheriting its legendary toughness.
When I come on the screen. There he is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round one of OIDC 2026. We are back in the beautiful Muscat Drift Arena for another season of epic drifting happening here. My name is Mike Leeson. I am going to be the English commentator. I'm going to pass it over now to my Arabic brothers. It's Salom and Damu, the guys. You're going to entertain the crowd. I have to run all the way over there, and the first car's warming up.
Run safe, that's what I'm going to say,
Run
man.
safe.
All the best to you. Thanks, Mike. Listen. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome all here in Muscat Drift Arena at Oman Automobile Association. We're going to have fun, and I'm sure that it's going to be a long day full of entertainment and full of fun. اليوم إن شاء الله راح يكون كذا يوم طويل بإذن الله تعالى. معانا هنا في هذه الحلبة، حلبة مسقط أرينا بالأبطال الموجودين. So, starting the race with the first Malika from Iran.
Well, they told me I had to be quick, but I didn't think it was that quick.
إذا هذه جولة ملكة مفائد من إيران والتي شاركت اليوم على متن نيسان سيلفيا. بالمناسبة ومعنا أول المتسابقين اليوم على هذا المسار لأنها كانت تواجه قبل قليل مشكلة ميكانيكية كانت تمنعها من تشغيل السيارة، ولكن من خلال الفريق الفني تم التعامل السريع مع المشكلة والاستعداد والدخول إلى المسار. أسعد الله المساء وأهلا وسهلا بكل من يتواجد معنا هنا في مسقط أرينا، وأيضا من يتابعنا مباشرة عبر البث المباشر. سالم،
الحمد لله على السلامة دعموس.
الله يسلمك
يا أخي، ويلكم دعموس. أنت وصلت ما شاء الله على طول على جولة مليكة، فنرحب فيك ونرحب بالجمهور والحضور الكريم اليوم موجودين معانا على السباق. ولا خلينا ننتظر نشوف سالم البيماني بعد، يعني رئيس مارشال موجود. أحمد، طبعا بالمناسبة مليكة هي يعني من أوائل أو عندنا
Okay, so we move back to the line for our next driver, which looks like it is Andreas Vasiliauskas from Lithuania, BMW E92. Lovely looking car. Let's see what Andreas can do on his first qualifying run. Andreas has been out here before in Oman, has been out for the last couple of years, but he is back on the grid. As we see the concentrated face, ready to go. Thumbs up from the start line, Marshall, and away we go. Vasiliauskas heading off for his first qualifying run. Lovely drone angle here into the first corner, as we see. Nice initiation from Andreas. Pushing that car, not too deep in the zone, but he is filling it his first run. Probably just wants to get a score on the board. The standard of driving this weekend is absolutely insane in Oman, as we see Vasiliauskas now coming through outer zone 4, smoking the place out of it, making his way back into the centre sections. He transitions, huge angle on the car, all the lock all the way through, putting foot to floor, making clouds as he makes his way over the finish line. That's not a bad run. Just look at the replay there from Vasiliauskas. Look at the angle he carried into that corner. That was just insane. All the lock on that E92 BMW. So we get ready to head back to the line and see who's next. On paper, it should be another international driver. Yes, it is in a borrowed car. It is the one, the only Conor Shanahan. Conor Shanahan is your 2025 Drift Masters champion. That is not his usual GT86. He has borrowed a car. The car has come from the guys at NMK Performance. So let's see what Conor Shanahan can do. Only a couple of laps in this car earlier on today, but Conor, a well capable driver. We're very excited to see him here in Oman. He makes his way down. Nice initiation from Shanahan. Look at that, getting that back wheel right out to the line, filling the zone near perfect. Little dab of the brakes now as he comes through inside clip 2, flicks it back, transitions for the first time through inside clip 3. It's a very fast run from Conor Shanahan. Looks like he's driving his own car there. He's so comfortable as he fills that outer zone, making his way through the centre again. One more big snappy transition for Shanahan. Just held the car off the power for a split second there, got it where he needs, and then foot the floor. Such a well capable driver, and of course he's 2-time Drift Masters champion, so Conor is pushing for that second run. Okay, so we're heading back to the line. BMW M2 making it out, so it is Olski Holovana representing Ukraine. So let's see what Holovana can do. He looks excited, he looks pumped. Thumbs up from the marshal, away he goes. Heading off for his first qualifying line. Very early initiation, drags that handbrake a long way, trying to get that car into that outer zone. Puts the foot down now as you see him coming through the first inside clip. Transitioning lovely through the centre. Look at the angle, look at the speed of Holovana as he makes his way around outside zone, coming back to the centre section, getting ready to flick back for the last time. Full throttle transition. No dab of the handbrake, small little tap of the front brakes, making sure the back of the car gets out to where the judges want it as we see him coming in, transitioning through the centre and over the finish line. That is not a bad run. Back to the line. As we see in the burnout box, it should be representing Hungary, Kevin Piscolti. Kevin in his Nissan Silvia 2JZ. First time out in Oman, and I'm telling you now, a lot of people said to me this morning, watch this guy, he's one to watch, and it was worth watching in practice. Some of the runs he was putting down was crazy, so I'm excited to see what Kevin can do here on his first qualifying run. 800 brake horsepower in that Silvia 2JZ screaming. Look at the flames banging as he makes his way down. Huge initiation there from Kevin, putting one wheel right out on that outer line through the first zone. Oh, big flame underneath the car. Is that car on fire? Is it a tyre fire? I'm not sure, but Kevin is not letting out. Oh, the back half looks like it's on fire. So we see Kevin Visconti now putting the foot down, filling the outer zone. Hopefully it's just a bit of rubber and it's not major, because he is not letting up on this run. He's after coming all the way to Oman to prove a point. So will the car hold out for one more run? Oh, a big bang flame from the tyre. We're only in like the 5th run and we've got too early in the season for that. Okay, so next up, I don't think it's going to be Ibrahim Kowali. As I'm looking in, that definitely doesn't look like a Corvette. No, it's not. Unless he's driving a different car, I'm not 100% sure. The list says he's in the C5 or C6 Corvette, sorry. So it will be. So I'm just getting mesmerised by all the lights, the drone shot over the burnout box. All the stops have been put out here tonight for OADC. The first round, we're back with a bang, and trust me, there are some big surprises this season. I've only heard a little bit of what's going to happen, and my mind was blown. So you definitely want to be tuning in. Definitely tomorrow night, anyways. That's all I'll say. So it is Ibrahim. He is not in the Corvette. He's in an E46 BMW. So let's see what Ibrahim can do on his first run as he leaves the line. Same as his teammate Kevin. Look at the bangs and flames coming out the exhaust. All the anti-lag straight out the wastegate there underneath that BMW. Very shallow initiation, not really getting out to outer zone 1, carrying big angle, dropping a wheel there, and over rotating. Ibrahim just getting it all wrong from the start, maybe nerves just getting the better of him. So he will have a lot of work to do on that second run. I'm just to the line, and next up is someone who has definitely impressed me so far today. This is Jihad Al Abdulasam. Okay, maybe I got the name wrong, but the interesting thing about Jihad is, right, one, that car is absolutely beautiful, and two, the driver is 13 years of age. Look at him, he's like a little kid in there, but trust me, he drives more aggressive than anyone else on the grid. Some of the runs he was putting down this morning, it was just pleasure to watch him. So I'm very excited to see what Jihad could do. Toyota GT86, fully carbon Kevlar, absolutely everything you want to a prospect car, and yet again he is just 13 years of age. These drivers are just getting younger and younger. So let's see what Jihad can do on that first run. Here at round 1 qualifying, the first night of OADC 2026. Jihad leaves the line. Nice initiation, handbrake jag there. Just came on power a little bit too early, not getting all the way into that zone, but he does put a wheel in there as we see him now full throttle through the intersection. Little dab of the front brake there, making sure he got inside clip 3 as he pushes his way now all the way to outer zone 4. Just coming a little bit shy away. Maybe the nerves getting better of the young man. So we see him now coming through the centre section. Big handbrake drag there. Huge handbrake drag, trying to get that car out wide where he wants it. That is one of 2 diesel zones on the track, but the judges said, you know, we want you to dab the handbrake, not drag it in. Is the first of our Fresh X drivers. It is Damir Ilatullin, and he is in this insane Nissan Z. These cars, the Fresh X boys, build them as a package. I can't describe them. You need to see them in person. The work that goes into these cars is unbelievable, and yes, there is 3 of them in the paddock this weekend. As we see Damir, nice job there, filling out her zone 1, pushing that Z all the way through. Brand new car. Look at this. This build is absolutely insane. The work the Fresh X guys do, it's just a credit to them. Serious garage based in Dubai. As we see Damir now coming through, getting out of zone. Very nice. Big handbrake drive, trying to get the car where he wants. See him tapping the front brake, trying to get a little bit more angle on the car as he makes his way through the second last clip and pushing it over the line. Damir, not a bad job. Okay, up next is Muhalda Al-Mizani, representing Saudi Arabia, E92 BMW. So what can Muzani do on his first qualifying run? Beautiful looking car. Love round 1. First night in round 1, the cars look amazing. Then we get to round 3 and they're all ready for a refresh after having a hard season. It's like a show car, that's what that is. So we see Mulzani leave the line. Not the fastest run up, but a huge flick at the end. Mulzani doing a good job, but just brought him all wrong to the inside of the track, nearly dropping 1 wheel on the inside there. Snapping and going everywhere. That doesn't really look like he's too in control of that E92. That car was up in the air just before qualifying, maybe having some technical issues with it. They did have the front jacked up and looked like they were working on the steering, so I'm not sure exactly what the problem is. So we see him there now. Not much angle. Yeah, look, see that snapback. Once he just gave it a little bit more angle, the car just snapped on him. Wouldn't let him go where he wanted to go. The car has a mind of its own. It's going to do its own thing. Okay, so up next, it is the second of our Shanahan brothers. It is the one, the only, Jack Shanahan, making his OIDC debut here at round 1, 2026 season, and he is driving an S chassis. And look, if you're a Jack Shanahan fan, you know he's normally in the GT86 chassis. Jack was telling me yesterday he has not driven S chassis since 2018. Super excited. But this isn't just any S chassis. This is a James Dean built S chassis. You would have seen it here last year at OIDC, driven by Chris Brady. So let's see what can happen. Jack Shanahan fresh off a podium. The last round of Formula Drift this year, confidence booster, well capable driver, and I am excited to see this run. So we see Shanahan snapping huge angle, doing a nice job getting that S15 right wide, lifting a wheel through the inner clip. As we see Jack now putting the foot down, smoke everywhere, little tap of the front brakes just to correct the angle as he comes into the second outer zone, making his way through the inside section now, filling zones absolutely near perfect as Shanahan as he comes through now. Look at that, carrying all the lock in that Sylvia, making his way through the centre section, last inside clip. That is a good run from Jack Shanahan. The Shanahan brothers have arrived in Oman, and I am excited to see what they're going to do this season. Seeing Jack back in an S chassis is just, it's nostalgic, that's all I'll say. Look at her lifting the wheel, coming through. What a car and what a driver. So we're going to head back to the line, and up next it is Abhi Patel representing India, GT86. So let's see what Abhi can do on his first qualifying run here in Muscat as he leaves the line. Run one, let's go. Oh, a wide initiation which brought him to the centre of the track. GT86 really looking like he's playing ball as he picks up a cone there at the first inside clip. Abhi doing whatever he can now just to try and salvage this run, try and get a score on the board and something that he can build on. That car has a lot of power in it, but yet again just not looking like it's steering too well. She's not transitioning as he'd like it. As we see Abhi now just dropping another wheel there. Opposite drift, so I'm not sure what way the judges are going to score this, and it's either going to be a 0 or a very low score. There's wheels dropped opposite drift. We'll just have to see what sort of mood the judges are in, but yeah, definitely Abhi Patel a lot more work to do on his second qualifying run, and yeah, that is a 0 from the judges. So we're going to head back to the line. Up next it is another returning driver. He wasn't here last year, he was here the year before. Representing Sweden, it is Andreas Lilja in his beautiful, I mean beautiful, it is such a nice car, Mark IV Toyota Supra, 1,000 brake horsepower. He says to have it down on low boost for today, so let's see what he can do on his first qualifying run. 2JZ under the bonnet. It's a show car, this thing is. It really is well prepared car. So let's see what Andreas can do. So we see the concentration, not even glimpsing at the camera. He has his mind set on what he does. He tells me by the time he does one run, his cooling temperatures are over 100 degrees. So they had to get on there and bring the fan on earlier. So hopefully the temperatures dropping this evening will help Andreas. So we see a nice initiation there, doing a good job getting that back wheel out wide, maybe just dropping one wheel towards the end of that zone as he comes through the first inner clip. Huge angles he's carrying through that centre section, putting the foot down now, smoking them rear tyres, trying to get that Supra as wide as he can. He comes back through the centre now one more time, getting ready to flick back for the next outer zone. Oh, just a little bit too early, not getting as deep in that zone as he would like. Andreas puts the front brakes on and gets it back to where he needs it and gets it over the line. Definitely going to be a score on the board. Hopefully the temperatures aren't plaguing him too much. I'm sure coming from Sweden, he wouldn't be really used to these unhealthy temperatures, nor is the car, but it's a 67.7 for his first run. He will be happy with that score on the board. We just watched the end of Andreas' qualifying run number 1. We head back to the line. And it's another driver representing Saudi Arabia. It is Moyad Al Muzani, Nissan Silvia. Big V8 under the hood of that S chassis. So what can Moyad do on his first run? As he leaves the line, S14, S15 front. Oh, misses a gear but gets it back in. Big handbrake drag as he didn't have the speed to push him out. Ends up on the inside of the first corner. Slightly getting a little bit wrong there on the first run. So you see him now. Whoa, a big snappy fast transition just like the judges asked. He puts the foot down, has that V8 screaming around the next outer zone as we see him coming back to the center section. Nice timid transition, not as snappy and quick as the last one, but does a nice job now as he comes around the second to last corner. 2 more inner clips to go, ticking them boxes, doing exactly as the judges asked. Not a bad second half of the run, just unfortunate the first half. Missing that gear on the run up. You're going to see it here now in the pause. Well, now we go. Where he would have liked just that little bit more speed just to push him out wider into that zone. It's not too long of a running the guys have here. They need every inch of it to gather the speed. But yeah, it's a 45.7 for Moyad. So he's a bit of improvement to do on the next run. So we're going to get ready to head back to the line, and it is Artros Miskinis representing Latvia in 36 BMW. Such an unbelievably prepared car. V8 first trip out here, doing some good runs in practice. So let's see what Artros can do as he leaves the line. Whoa, big snap to angle for initiation, but maybe a little bit too late as he over-rotates on the first corner. That's not the runs we've been seeing him do all morning in practice. So Artos is another driver who's going to have a lot to do on his second qualifying run. As we see, he's going to use this to feel out the grip levels on the track, try and get some data that him and the team can make a plan of what way they're going to approach the second qualifying run and try and get a place in battle action tomorrow night. See the replay here coming down. I was like, oh, he's playing it safe initiation, but yeah, just a huge snap, maybe just a little bit too much too early and not having the throttle to pull it out of the corner. So Artos, yep, a lot of work to do in the second run. Yeah, that is a 0 as predicted. We're going to head back, and it will be another Latvian driver up next. It is Alvas Letskinis in another E36 with a supercharger and a V8. And trust me, it's nice. It's as nicely built as the last E36 that was just on your screen. These Latvian drivers bringing some standard of cars to Oman this year. So let's see what Alvis can do. A little bit shallow on that first corner. You hear the V8 screaming, locks the front brake, tucks the nose, lovely inside them inside clips. So we see Alves now trying to get that car back wide into the zone as he makes his way through the center section for the second time. Big transition, huge handbrake drag there, trying to slow the E36 BMW down as he makes his way around the last corner. Inside clip 1, inside clip 2, and over the line. It's not a bad run. Definitely seen him do better earlier on in practice. Probably just nerves coming into play again. So let's see what way the judges are going to score this run for Alves. So it's a 59.3. He does have a score on the board. A lot of room for improvement, a few mistakes in different places, but him and the team will be analysing that run when they go back in to try and figure out where they can improve and get more points on that second run, because you know, the higher the points you get in qualifying, the higher you go in the battle action tomorrow night. And everyone wants a space in that top 32, especially when there's over 60 drivers on the grid. So we move back to the line. This is an OIDC veteran, took a year out last year. He was sadly missed here. The kebab fighter is back. It's Edgar Kreuges in his beautifully prepared F22 BMW. Edgar's a well capable driver, a new build this year. He bring it out to Oman. Oh, not getting as deep in that first outer zone as we hear the V8 screaming from that F22. 800 brake horsepower in this car. As you can see, Edgar's running as much of it as possible, smoking them rear tyres off as he pushes his way nice and wide through the centre section, transitioning again. Craig is doing a good job here in the kebab fighter. One or two little mistakes, not getting too deep in some of the outer zones, but it's a score on the board either way. With a little bit of room to improve, but Craig is definitely able to do it. We've seen him get podiums here before in OIDC, so I'm excited to see what he can do in his second run. Just a little bit shallow in that first corner. Judges will be penalising for that. They said they want you nice and deep in that corner, especially in qualification tonight. Just Agar's getting one or two wheels in zones, but not all the way, as our graphic glitched 100 times there. It was that fast. I didn't get to read Agar's score. Hopefully it pops back up again. Okay, so we move back to the line. E46 BMW Saeed Al Salah representing Jordan on the line. Let's see what Saeed can do on his first qualifying run. Okay, so Saeed leaves the line. Hear the Jay-Z screaming in that E46. Nice initiation. Not yet again, another driver gets deep at the start of the zone, but not filling it all the way. As we see him now transitioning onto the inside clips, lifting a leg there on the front as he makes his way just very shallow yet again of the second outer zone. And back in, big handbrake drag in the decel zone. As you see the body roll on that E46, just looking a little bit tricky to drive, but Saeed doing a good job connecting the dots, trying to put the best run together that he can. And let's see what way the judges are going to drive it. Sorry, not drive it, judge it. Mike's just writing information down here and trying to talk at the same time, but my brain doesn't work that way, obviously. Okay, so that's a 56 for Saeed. Score on the board, but definitely room for improvement on the second qualifying run. Okay, so up next, on paper, I don't like saying it just in case, you know, anything can happen, cars can break down. But we should have another Jordan driver, yes we do. It is Nasser Hanya. As you see, Nasser leaves the line for his first qualifying run. Not a big weight transfer, not getting too deep in that outer zone. This car has been in the air for a lot of the day. The guy's having a lot of issues, steering issues. I seen nearly the whole front end off that car. So I wonder, did they get it sorted, or have they just kind of put a plaster on a broken leg? They're trying to get it nursed out for qualifying to secure a spot for tomorrow. You see, look, that car just does not want to drift, turning both ways on him. Unfortunately from Nazir. Oh, he just spins before the line. That car nearly looks undrivable to me, so a credit to him trying to keep that E36 moving to get a score on the board. But just unfortunately, the car not playing ball from the start. It doesn't look like it wants to go an angle. This front wheels want to be straight. It's like it's set up like a touring car or something. Just see the end of Nasser's qualifying run. Yeah, that corner there is where it all goes wrong. The car looks like it's fighting the driver. He's just trying to nurse it over the line, but it's just too little too late, unfortunately. So we're heading back to the line. And we have another driver representing Jordan. Anas Al Hello leaves the line, BMW. Unbelievably looking car, beautiful livery on this. As we've seen him now doing a great job there, filling that outer zone one. That's what we came to see here tonight at round one of OIDC. As we see Anas doing a nice job tapping the front brakes there, just to try and get the back into that zone. So we see him now maybe washing a small bit wide in the centre section, dropping one wheel as he transitions into that outer zone again, doing a good job now in the second half of this track. He brings it through the last two inside clips and over the finish line. A score on the board. Nice job there through that outer zone. It's just this transition here. He hits the inside clip and then just hits this outer zone a small bit too early. See there now, we want to watch it a small bit wide. Stomps on the brakes, tries to get the back of the car out into that box to salvage some points on this run. One wheel drop there as well. Not a bad run from Anas. Okay, so we're going to head back to the line, and it is another female driver joining the grid this year, representing Ireland. It is Adrienne Wheatley, 2JZ, PS13, 904.5 brake horsepower, and she definitely informed me that the 0.5 is very important to mention that, so I did. Adrienne was out here last year supporting her teammate Alan O'Loughlin, fell in love with the place, and then got the opportunity to join the grid this year, and she is a woman on a mission. Some brilliant runs in qualifying. Hopefully nerves stay out of that car for this run, and we see Adrienne putting down a nice run as she flicks it in, stomping on the front brake, gets that wheel into the outer zone. You see her now hugging the outer line, full lock from the angle kit on that PS13, making her way through the first inside clip. So we see the speed of that transition coming in harder than anyone else I think we've seen today. Little dab of the front brake there now, trying to keep the car on track. Oh, maybe just dropping two wheels at the end there. She fights her way back through the centre section. Huge angle yet again. Puts the foot down. Look at the smoke from the back of this PS13. Absolutely melting them tyres as she brings it over the line. That's not a bad run. One or two little mistakes, but Adrienne definitely will be able to tidy it up on the second run. It will be a score on the board. That's the most important thing. See there, just a little bit early into that zone, but she does good job through here. Look at the speed of that transition. A 57 on her first run. She'll be delighted with that, and her and her team will be able to figure out the areas that she can improve in for the second run. Not a bad run at all. One of three female drivers on the grid this weekend. Brilliant to see. Okay, we're heading back to the line. It is the young man, Khalifa Al-Fahasi. Well, we've a 13-year-old in the grid, so Khalifa's 17, so I can't call him that anymore. 800 brake horsepower in this 180SX V8. Huge angle from the young man from the UAE, throwing it in, using all the lock in that first corner to slow down that car. Khalifa doing a great job now as he flicks back, lining up for outer zone 3, doing a great job. Not as deep as we like to see, but the smoke coming out of that car. The 180SX being pushed to the limits here today. You see him now putting the foot down. Khalifa, a well capable driver. He's getting so much more comfortable in this car. He's made big improvements, a lot of seat time in the off season, and it can really show. Bangs of it coming over the finish line. Some of these builds are just crazy. Just looking at Khalifa's replay here now. Loads of room for improvement. But he gets a score on the board, 77.3. He'll be happy with that. As we head back to the line, I can hear the screams of this beautiful A90 Toyota Supra, piloted by Youssef Batworth from Saudi Arabia. This car, it's nearly like a dream build. Carbon Kevlar, absolutely every part you would want on a drift car, and Youssef, a crazy driver behind the wheel. Let's see what he can do on his first qualifying run. Youssef leaves the line. Screams at the Jay-Z as he makes his way down the track. Little wobble coming into the first zone, but he gets that back wheel right nice and wide on the white line. So you see him coming through the first inside clip now. Full throttle, hits the second inside clip, and Youssef just washing a little bit wide. Trying not to dab the handbrake, trying to use angle to slow down the car. Maybe just a little bit too late dialing on the angle, but he's still keeping this run going. He will get a score. Flame shooting from underneath the Supra. This looks amazing as we see Youssef. The speed he went through that last section there. Some power in this car. Kind of one of them cars you're, as a driver, look like you're just holding on. Let's see what happens here. Youssef, definitely second season in this car, and he has tamed the beast from last year, so it's probably the biggest mistake in my opinion. Just coming in there before the next outside zone, drops a wheel, he puts the score on the board, 49.7. But a lot of room for improvement. Okay, so you see the end of Youssef's run. We get ready to head back to the line, and up next it should be the C6 Corvette. It is of Hussein Mislani representing Lebanon. Hussein, an OIDC veteran, struggling with this car today. He told me, he's like, the car's not playing ball. It was doing well a couple of weeks ago up in Abu Dhabi for the Emirates Drift Championship, so hopefully him and his team have got this car together, locked in, and Hussein can put in a qualifying run. Let's see what happens as he leaves the line here. Nice initiation there for Hussein, not too deep in the clip, gets one wheel in all the way around. You see him now making his way through the center section, holding on, tab of the front brakes there just to scrub off a bit of speed coming into outside zone 3. See him flicking back some speed through the center section, a little dab of the handbrake in the decel zone, settling that Corvette as he comes through the last two inside clips and over the finish. Oh, Hussein, did he drop two wheels just before the finish line there? I think he did, and if he did, he will be kicking himself over that one. Not a bad run from Hussein. So let's see what the judges think of this one. So it's a 62. So I'm interested to see what happened here. 62 in his first run. It's not a bad score. Gets a score on the board for Hussein. A little confidence booster for himself, but he'll be watching back on this going, oh, I need to tighten up there, because you definitely lost a few points just at that last section. Okay, so we're back on the line, and no, it is not Nazar or Harbali. It is Victor Jansu representing Sweden, one half of the Swedish Drift Brothers. Victor in the borrowed car from Nazar. His two boys are good friends. Nazar said, come on out and drive it. Victor told me, I don't even know what I'm doing here. The last time I drifted was this car at round 1 of OIDC last year. He's only doing round 1 this year. He's here for a bit of fun. So let's see what Victor can do. Nice initiation there. Coming through the V8 screaming of Nazar Harbali's spare car, his old 350Z, his old reliable car. Victor doing a nice job now in that outside zone as he makes his way into next section. Transition, dab of the handbrake, settles the 350 down, puts the foot to the floor. Front brakes lit up nearly all the way around that corner as he smokes them rear tyres out of it and brings it over the line. Not bad for a lad. Up. Did he hit the wall? I don't know. I'm going to stand up to see. He's driving away anyway, so if he did hit it, it was just a little bit of contact. But yeah, not too bad for a lad that hasn't drove in a year. So let's see what way the judges will score that. And it is a 67.3 for Victor Jansu. Not a bad score. So we'll see what Victor will be able to do later on his second qualifying run. he did hit the tyre wall at the end. Brilliant. Okay, it's another 350Z. It is Robert Babagulian. This Z is unbelievable. It's such a well-prepared car. Robert, another OIDC veteran. Let's see what he can do. So we just wait for the marshals just to tidy up a few cones there after Victor. Thumbs up from the start line, and away he goes. Robert's off for his first qualifying run. Huge snapped angle. Will he be able to hold it? I think he will. Not filling that zone all the way and very deeply, but that was some initiation from Robert as he carries big angle through the first transition, making his way through the inside clips, now pushing wide for that second outer zone, heading back for the inner sorry, my problem. God, tangling my words because I'm just enjoying this run so much. Robert throwing huge angle on again, coming through the centre section for the last time. This is a brilliant run for Robert Babagulian. Watch this initiation. This is what I'm excited for. Bang! Nearly full 90 into the corner. Did a great job to stop that car from over-rotating. And it definitely will be a score on the board for Robert. So it's a 74 for Robert. He's going to be delighted with that one. A nice score on the board. He knows where he can push harder now for the second run later tonight in qualifying here at round 1 of OIDC. Okay, up next it is the man, the legend that is Ahmed Daham in the GR86. A B58 under the bonnet, pushing over 800 brake horsepower on low boost. Daham, just a drift legend in the Middle East. Such a nice guy. And one of the nicest prepared cars on the grid, doing some good runs this morning. So let's see what he can do in this GR86. Daham even brought the car out for dinner here in Oman a couple of weeks ago. Just asking it to behave nicely. Check out his social media to see that video because I could not stop laughing at it. Will the car play ball? It's been working all day long for him in practice, so I'm really rooting for Daham here on his first qualifying run. He wants to get a good start to the championship. Ahmed Daham, no stranger to podiums here at OIDC, and he wants that top step at round 1 just to get a good score on the championship board heading into round 2. But before we get to the podium, Ahmed, we have to get through qualifying. So let's see what you can do as he leaves the line. Nice run up, throwing it in, huge angle there, stomping on the front brakes, getting the back of the car exactly where he needs to through that outer zone as he tucks the nose in for the inside clip, again, on the front brakes, lining it up, pushing that car as far as he can. How beautiful is this GR86? Look, drifting around the Muscat Drift Arena here as he transitions back. Listen to the screams of that B58 from Ahmed Daham. Coming through the centre section again, ticking off the last inside clip and over the line, bringing that car out for dinner. Definitely worked because it's playing ball tonight here in Muscat. Lovely run from Daham, and he is going to be pumped on that one, putting himself probably fairly high in the order so far, and definitely a good confidence booster heading into the second qualifying run later tonight. And there you go, an 83.3. Ahmed Daham, he's going to be smiling with that one. Okay, we head back to the line, and it is the crazy S15 of Salam Salaf. Salam had a look around this car with him this morning. It blows my mind. Yeah, you can see by the bonnet what's going on. So this car has an LS7 7-litre V8 twin turbo with 2 turbos that are about the size of my head, and all of the anti-lag, pushing over 800 brake horsepower on low boost. And Salam doing a great job there. Look at this, filling that outer zone near perfect, putting the back wheel right on that white line, exactly what the judges want to see as he smokes the centre section through, tucking in for the first inside clip. Can he keep that wheel on track? He does a good job there. Flames shooting from the bonnet on both sides. we see Salam now making his way through the centre section. This is a brilliant run so far. So he transitions now, heading out for the last big outer zone, filling it all the way around. The judges are going to like this one. One more transition, one more inner clip as he brings it over the line. That's what we came here to see. Some good runs starting to come in now, representing Kuwait. Salam Al-Sarf. Yes, definitely. Looking around it, I was like, what's going on with this? He's like, oh, it's an LS7, but it's all dressed up, and I've done this, and I built that, and then I put 2 huge turbos on it, and nitrous, and a massive amount of anti-lag, and just, when you come from where I come from, things like that will blow your mind. An 85.3 on his first run, and he's going to be delighted with that. And I'm excited to see his second run, because that's a good confidence booster, so he'll be able to push hard on that second run, and see what he will be able to do. Okay, so we're heading back to the line in the IS 300. Representing the UAE, it's Ali Shohani. His car, all I say about every time it's on track, this is all of the anti-lag. Not anti-lag, all of the anti-lag. Pop and bang central. Ali putting down some nice runs in practice. Good job earlier on today, so let's see how he goes on his first qualifying run. Throws it in. Screams of this LS 300. Sorry, my apologies. IS 300. So you see Ali now just kicking the life of the clutch there, trying to get that car through the centre section. Looking like maybe he's down on a small bit of power than usual. I'm not sure what's going on, if there's some mechanical gremlins, but Ali doing a great job now, making his way through the centre section. Huge bang from the wastegate underneath the car there. Sounds amazing. My window shook right in front of me from it. You see him now just really looking like he's struggling for speed more than grip. Leave the car a bit too loose. I'm not 100% sure. Definitely seen faster runs out of Ali today, but look, he did connect the dots, dropped a few wheels in places, but will be a score on the board for Ali Shawani. So it's a 43, not the biggest score. A lot of room for improvement, so hopefully him and the team can get that together. He's got a great team behind him in the pits looking after this car. So let's see what they can do, and we will be eager to watch Ali's second qualifying run here at round 1 of OIDC 2026. Okay, so I do see a yellow car in the burnout box. It should be on paper Waqas Saud representing Oman, E46 BMW. So let's see what Waqas can do. Waqas previous years has been in a Mustang, jumping out with that chassis, hopping in the old faithful BMW. And let's see, was that decision a good one? Most people would say yes. But it's all down to personal opinion. So let's see. See our marshal just talking to Waqas. He reversed back, not 100% sure what's going on. I'm like you guys at home, I'm sitting watching the screen, just interpreting, trying to figure out myself, like what's going on, or stand up and look out the window. I see Marshall's just picking up some cones. I'd say that's what they're telling them. Just give us a minute there, we'll get this track ready, make sure conditions are the same for all drivers. But yeah, Waqas leaving the line. Like he missed the gear there, gets it up, flicks it in, very shallow on that first zone, not really getting it at all, as we see Waqas now putting the foot down, the V8 screaming in this E46 BMW. Waqas missing that zone completely, sounding like maybe he's out geared or not the right gear ratio, I'm not 100% sure, but just getting it all wrong in the centre section there, so that will be a 0. He's going to use the rest of this run just to try and fill it out, get some information he can bring back to him and his team and go, right, we need more grip, we need less grip, we can do this. Sounds like he's out geared to me, but that's just going off a sound of a car on the track. So yeah, it'd probably be a 0 for Waqas. struggling with that car. So he's not getting it out wide and there. That's where it just got all wrong. From the wrong direction, which would be a 0. And we head back to the line. This is a man who is on a mission today. I just met him coming out of the hotel before qualifying. Very confident. Mohammed Siab in this GT86. A new driver this year. He's after improving so much. Loads of seat time. Was out in Europe driving. He was in Riga. He's been to so many different places. And he says he's coming back to OIDC this year to prove a point and try and get on that podium tomorrow night. So let's see how Mohammed does representing Lebanon. As he leaves the line. Big flick in. Huge initiation. It's the back wheel. Lovely and wide. Out to that outer zone. Car screaming as it's coming through the centre section. Nice job here from Mohammed. Filling that zone perfect. I'm nearly watching this as a fan, not as a commentator. Really enjoying this run. Huge flame out the side exhaust. As we see him now doing a nice job. Back wheel right out to the line as he comes through the centre section. Hits the last 2 inside clips and over the finish line. Not a bad run. It's a very fast run as well. Let's see what way the judges are going to score Mohammed. And it's GT86. So it's an 85.3, a very good run for Mohammed. He's going to want to hit that top spot in qualifying tonight. Go back in, they're going to analyse these runs. The standard of drift teams in the pits. Drifting's come a long way in Oman, that's all I'd say. Professional teams out there, as you can see straight away the drone shot. Look at the pit area. NMK Fresh X really making a statement, multiple cars running. And speaking of Fresh X, up next is another one of their crazy Z's. This time it has been piloted by Dennis Miguel. Unbelievable. I actually seen one of these cars. I'm not sure which one of them because it wasn't liveried up, but it was tested a couple of months ago in Dubai while I was up there, and my jaw was on the floor even looking around it. The build in these cars, it's perfection. Absolutely perfection. Everything you want to a very, very high standard. So yeah, let's see how Dennis does. Really liking the colour scheme. They all look the same, but they have their own little different flares, just to give them a little bit of a personal identity for the driver, so everyone's not in the exact same car. But Dennis gets the thumbs up from the start line, Marshall, and away he goes for his first qualifying run of the 2026 season. He heads screaming down. You see Dennis now doing a nice job there, filling outer zone 1. Pushing through the first inside clip. Snappy transition, all the angle just to scrub a bit of speed as he makes his way for the second outer zone. Nice job here so far from Dennis Miguel. As he comes through the centre section, very fast transition, dab of the handbrake just as the judges asked to scrub off a bit of speed. Doing a nice job now as he taps the front brakes, lines it up for the second last inside clip, through the last inside clip and over the finish line. A nice run there from Dennis Miguel. Definitely these Fresh X boys came to play this season here. OIDC. So Dennis getting a 75 on his first run. Nice score, a good starting base for him. He'll definitely be pushing hard to try to get up higher in that qualifying order by the end of tonight. So we're going to head back to the line, and up next it is the man so good they named him twice. S14 driven by Ramzi Ahmed Ramzi, representing Egypt. Ramzi 2JZ 800 brake plus. I went around this morning asking drivers what's your power. They're obviously all getting the same parts or they're all lying, but everyone said around 800 plus. or some of them told me if they were on high or low boost. But yeah, Ramsey in the burnout box, representing Egypt. Such a nice guy. Let's see what he can do on his first qualifying run here. As we see him scrubbing in the front tyres, putting some heat into the rear, pushing off that rubber you pick up just driving on and off the track. How cool of a shot is that? The big OIDC 2026 light up sign, Ramsey driving underneath it. Beautiful S14. I'm excited to see what the Egyptian driver can do here. Run 1 in qualifying coming right up. Thumbs up from the marshal, away he goes. Screaming Ramsey's 2J coming down the straight. Nice initiation, very, very fast from Ramsey. Hugging that outer line. He's doing a nice job now coming through, flicking back, lifting a wheel through that inside clip. Shows the grip in the back of these cars. Ramsey doing a nice job now in the outside zone. This is a very good run so far from the Egyptian driver. As he comes back one more time. Nice initiation, really wide on that outer zone. Ramsey doing a great job here. Really liking this run as he brings it through the last clip and over the finish line. He's that happy, he just keeps drifting. So Ramsey doing a great job there. I wonder, did the judges like it as much as me? Just coming through, watch the transition, lifts the wheel there on the front. And that's a 72 for Ramsey. He's going to be delighted with that one. Score on the board for the first run. As we get ready to head back to the line. And up next it is the man that is Haitham Al-Haididi, representing Oman, the local boy. V8 S15 Sylvia. And an insane driver behind it. Haitham doing some serious runs this morning in practice. A guy that always puts on a show for us here at OIDC. A fan favourite. I'm just really excited to see what Haitham's going to do this season. He told me last night at the press conference, I'm definitely pushing for a podium. I need a podium. I want a podium this year. So what can the young man from Oman do? Hopefully it's something special as we see Haitham leave the line. Throwing it in, nice initiation. Putting the back wheel perfectly on the white line all the way around that first zone. As we see Haitham now smoking the centre section out of it. He's doing a great job on that first transition. Coming out, stomping on the front brakes, trying to fill that outer zone. As he comes back through the centre section again, transitioning. Dab of the handbrake in the decel zone, and maybe just coming back on the power a small bit too early. Jumps out of the zone. Haitham doing a great job though to try and control that beast of a Sylvia as he brings it over the finish line. Not a bad run at all from Haitham Al-Haididi. Yet again, I'm going silent here because I'm just watching this as a fan. I'm not a commentator, I'm just an excited drift fan with a microphone. That's all I am. Haitham Al-Haididi, a masterclass there. Just there, he maybe came on the power a little bit too much. See the jump out. 77.3 though is not a bad score for Haitham. So he knows where the room, or where he can improve for his second run. But we're going to head back to the line. And up next, it is Karim Rashid, representing Egypt. This is Ramsey's cousin, E46. Absolutely beautifully prepared car. Karim has two of these cars and brought both of them here today. So let's see what he can do on his first qualifying run. Putting that back wheel lovely and wide on that outer zone. As we see him making his way through the first inner clip, carrying huge angle in that E46. As the cameraman just loses him, we get him back on our screen, flicks back. Doing a nice job in that outer zone, pushing his way through the centre section for the second time as we transition through the decel zone. Little dab of the handbrake, settles the car, puts it nice and wide. Yet again, this is going to be a high scoring run from Karim. as he brings it over the finish line. That's what we came to see. 2JZ and a well capable driver, and as I said, yes, he has two of these cars, absolutely identical, like identical, everything's the exact same. He was testing both cars, didn't know which one he's going to drive. One's called his Egyptian car, one's called his European car. The European car is the new one. Obviously it was built to go somewhere, I don't know where it's going to go. Maybe there's a hint in the name, I'm not sure, but definitely a man I think we're going to see more of. An 85.7, he is going to be delighted with that one. The Egyptian boys, two cousins, came to play this year at OIDC. Right, we're heading back to the line. So it is another Irish driver, the one, the only, Alan O'Loughlin, returning again for another season in Oman. He was out here last year, but trust me, that is not the same car as you seen last year. It got a full rebuild and loads of improvement, and built with the mind of doing well in Oman. This car was built for Oman. A 1.5 JZ under the bonnet, 800 brake horsepower. Again, it's going to be a common theme. That's what they're all telling me. Let's see what Alan O'Loughlin can do here. Trust me, if you could hear this car in person, it sounds amazing on the track. So we see Alan throwing it in. Huge initiation from Alan O'Loughlin. All the angle from the start, filling that outer zone near perfect. O'Loughlin doing a great job now as he comes through, carrying big angle again through the second inside clip, pushing out wide on the front brakes. Not getting deep into that outer zone, but drops a wheel at the end. Oh, Alan maybe just getting a small bit wrong in that transition, carrying too much speed and not scrubbing off enough in time, but he does a great job now in the last outer zone, filling it lovely, hits the second last inside clip perfectly and over the line. Ah, Alan O'Loughlin, that initiation got me going, then you broke me heart on the second one. Look at that, near 90 coming into the first corner. That's what we want to see. The cool side of drifting. This beautiful 180SX. Alan doing a nice job here. But here, look, trying to carry all the speed, not scrubbing off too much. But yeah, just missing the start of that zone and dropping wheels at the end. It's a 58.7. He would have lost points for that section, but let's see what Alan can do to improve on his next qualifying run. Right, up next it is Riyad Al Masabi representing Oman in his Nissan 370Z, if I'm correct, looking at the headlights. Another guy, V8. What power is it? He says it's over 800, and you know what? I believe him. Riyad jumping out of the Mark IV Superette that he's previously done OIDC in, and in this new car, and I think it might have been a good decision, or did I just jinx him there? You see him focusing in on that camera. The V8 absolutely screaming as he comes through the centre section. Riyad doing a great job. These Omani drivers really pushing, trying to keep up with all the international guests, as we see Riyad now doing a nice job coming through the centre section again as he flicks back one more time. Jump there as he's on and off the handbrake. The power in that car, it just wants to go. And Riyad doing a nice job, maybe just dropping one wheel at the second last inside clip or a half a wheel, but not a bad run from Riyad. He's going to be happy with that. Another car just before qualifying, they were working on the steering, not 100% sure what happened or why. It seemed to be going well in practice, but obviously the driver knows more than the guy just walking around looking at it. So Riyad, yeah, not deep into the start of that outer zone there. The guy's scrubbing off a bit too much speed coming through the centre section for the first time, but yeah, did a great job of getting it back on. A 63.3. He has the score on the board. Let's see how he gets on later tonight in his second qualifying run. Okay, up next it is Daniel Maximoff in this insane Nissan Silvia. This thing was a beast last year. It actually looked like it was undrivable. Over 1,000 brake horsepower. I was chatting to Daniel last night in the hotel. I said, what improvements have you done to the car? He says it's NA. I took off the supercharger, it's down on power, and now it's more drivable. So obviously Daniel figuring out, you know what, maybe too much power is just spinning the wheels and going nowhere. And in my opinion, from what I seen this morning, it's been a good call. So we see urban cars on the side, beautiful. Him and Robert, their car looks amazing. I love that purple and orange design. So yeah, rooting for Daniel here. What's he going to do to try and get a good start to this OIDC season? So we're just waiting on a few cones to be picked up. I see Marshall's just running all around. There we go, thumbs up from our start line, Marshall, and away Daniel goes. Huge initiation. Listen to the V8 screaming that car, not getting deep in that first outer zone. Daniel puts the foot down. That car is just taking off, lifting a leg, coming through that first transition and that inside clip. As we see Daniel now, maybe too concentrated on speed and not getting where he should be getting or asked to be going. Still Daniel doing a nice job though, keeping it fast and fluid. And there's the commentator's curse. He just drops 2 wheels, very unfortunate. Keeps it going, tucks the last inside clip in and over the finish line. So we'll see how the judges will score this one for Daniel Maximoff. See Daniel putting the foot down there and the clouds just forming from the back of this car. So 37.7, judges not liking that one, very shallow and missing clips, dropping wheels. A lot of work for Daniel to do on his second run. We're going to head back to the line, and this is a guy who's had a very tough morning. Sebastian Fonten, representing the Netherlands. Huge initiation for Sebastian Fonten, filling that outer zone. Sebastian only has like 1 lap of practice under his belt. The reason being his car arrived at 7 a.m. this morning. They still had work to do on the car. Him and his team working tirelessly. But Sebastian, a well capable driver, doing a great job here on his first qualifying run, looking like he's been practicing all day long. Every lap he does will be more information to bring back to the team of how they can improve for the second run. The container with the Dutch cars of Sebastian and Clint Van Hout only turned up at 7 a.m. this morning, so it was a big push for all the guys. Delighted to see the cars arrived and they met qualifying. Sebastian, a fan favourite here in Oman, one of the most stylish drivers you will ever meet. And he's doing a good job for your second lap of that track. It really is. So a 73, he is going to be delighted with that one, because as of last night he didn't know if he would be making the first run. So Seb will definitely be heading back in to do a few little changes and figure out where he can gain some more points to push himself higher in that qualifying order. Okay, up next it is Abdullah Hamada, representing Jordan. E92 BMW. Orange seems to be the team this year. It looks so cool. It was yellow last year and I thought it was unbelievable, and then he just came back and outdid himself this year. So we're going to see what Abdullah can do. The speed of him down, huge initiation, and maybe just pushing a small bit too wide. Can he hold it? Yes, he can. Gets that car back in for the first inside clip. It's a big, snappy, fast transition. Doing a nice job getting out lovely and wide to the second outer zone as he brings it out now, doing a nice job again, flicking back into the last outside zone. Nice. Abdullah doing a good job here, smoking them rear tires out of it as he brings it through the last zone and over the finish line. That was a very fast run from Abdullah. Just that probably be the biggest mistake there. Maybe come in a little bit too hot or initiate a little bit too late. I'm not sure, but he did very well to hold it and get it back online by the end of that first corner. So yeah, a 75 from Abdullah. He's going to be delighted with that one. Okay, so up next it is Ihab Farah, representing, sorry, my notes are gone mad there. Oh yeah, representing Lebanon. My apologies, Ihab. I even knew that before and see the flag on the door. He's in his trusty E46. He does have a new Sylvia, but it's not here this weekend. He told me it will be back for round 2 in a couple of weeks. But Ihab's, his old trusty, you know, 2JZ E46. You have another driver who went off this summer, tried to drive in as many places as possible, even made it out as far as Riga and Latvia, doing well out there in the Silvia. So I'm excited to see what Ehab can do here tonight at round 1 of OIDC. As we hear the anti-lag switched on, and away he goes for his first qualifying run. 2JZ screaming out the E46, and Ehab doing a nice job. Look at that, putting the back wheel perfectly on that outer line. So we see him now stomping on the front brakes, tucking the nose in for the first inside clip. As he makes his way through the first transition, very fast as well through that transition is Ehab Fala. As we see him now doing the same thing in outer zone 2, filling that zone start to finish near perfectly, maybe dropping one wheel there just before the transition as he makes his way into the decel zone, filling that last outer zone. Very nice on the front brakes all the way around that corner, tucking the nose in for the inside clips and over the finish line. Ehab, that was a brilliant run, my friend. Watch Ehab's replay here. Imagine this is not his first choice of car. It's crazy. Such a nice car, this E46. We've seen it here before though, IBC. So let's see what way the judges score this. 77.3. That's not a bad score. So we see Ehab bring it over the line. We're heading back to the start line, and up next it is Ali Al-Bushi. The Omani driver Lalu is back. V8 supercharged 180SX, and such a nice guy driving it. Lalu there to help absolutely all of the international drivers. And there's a lot of people rooting for him here. A fan favourite in Oman. So let's see what the Omani driver can do. As he gets the thumbs up from the start line marshal, away he goes. Lalu is a judge in most championships around the Middle East. Back driving again, nice initiation, putting it lovely and wide through that first outside zone, carrying huge angle there just before the transition. Not a touch of the handbrake at all, just using angle to slow that car down as he makes it into outer zone 2. Doing a nice job now, carrying big angle again as he makes his way into the centre section. One more time, flicks it back. This is a nice job from Lalu, using all of the lock there to get that car out wide into the zone, ticking off them last 2 inside clips and bringing it over the finish line. Lalu, that was a great run. Enjoying watching this replay here from Lalu. The angle he's carried in places, that's just some commitment. Obviously having the power to push the throttle straight through. And 84.3 for Lalu. He is up there in the order. He's going to be happy with that one. Yeah, these Omani drivers have really stepped their game up this year. I am so excited to see where this season brings us. As he's hands straight out the window, waving to the fans. And we're going back to the line, and up next it is another Fresh XZ. These things are so fresh, just so fresh, trust me. This time it has been piloted by Anatoly Sherbak, and Anatoly was over here last year with the time up guys. He's jumped on the Fresh X team this year. He's got a car to drive. So we see him there now scrubbing them front tyres. Get as much heat into it. You want that commitment in the front tyres. When you initiate, that's a very fast run in. Maybe it doesn't look like it on live stream, but trust me, I stood down at clip 1 this morning, and the speed they were coming towards you, just absolutely insane if you ask me. But yeah, Anatoly making his way to the start line. A burnout last bit. And another, these like I'm just falling in love with them. I really am. You can get them, you know. That's what they do. They build them, custom for you. Maybe a little bit outside my budget, but I would love one. But yeah, let's see what Anatoly can do here. Comes up from the driver. Cool, calm and collective. See the drone hovering behind him there, ready to go. Absolutely everything pulled out this year for OIDC. The 2026 season's the 8th year of drifting, international drifting in Oman. It's crazy. It could be just the best year yet, but yeah, and as hell he leaves the line. Flames shooting out the back of that Z. V8 screaming. Not too deep to the start of that zone, but he does a good job by the end of it as he stomps on the front brakes, tucks the nose in for the inner clip. Transitioning now for the first time. Hits the second inside clip. And listen to that car screaming as he makes his way through the second outer zone. Working his way back through the centre section again. Flicks it back for the third outer zone. This is a nice run so far. So you see him coming through the centre section, hitting them inside clips and bringing it over the line. And Natalie Sherbach doing a great job there in the fresh XC. So a 79 on his first run. Room to improve, but still a decent score on the board. He's going to be delighted with that as he heads back into the pits. And Fresh X guys now probably talking together. They have a huge team there. And they figure out where they can get more points from the judges. Sitting up the front of briefing this evening just before qualifying, paying so much attention, taking in every bit of detail, and that's the way you should be if you want to win. Okay, up next it is another Omani driver, Tarouk Al-Shahani. Back on the grid, trusty 180SX, huge supercharger sticking out the bonnet, V8, and a well capable driver behind the wheel. So let's see what Tarouk can do on his first qualifying run. As he leaves the line, thumbs up from the marshal, away he goes. Nice initiation there from Tarouk. You hear the V8 screaming on the front brake all the way around that first corner, getting the back of that car exactly where he wants it, and a very fast transition there as he smokes the Muscat Drift Arena out of it, coming into outer zone 2. Playing with the throttle through that centre section. This car is not sure exactly what power is in it. Every time I went over, he wasn't there. He was out practicing. But definitely in the high figures, probably the 800 club, because that's what everyone seems to have this year. But Tarouk Al-Shahani doing a great job on his first qualifying run. That would be a good confidence booster for him going into his second run later on tonight here in beautiful Muscat. So yeah, 84.3 from Tarouk Al-Shahani. The judges liking that run as well. He's going to be pumped. Excited to see what he can do with such a good run now. You know, he can go a bit wild on the second one, push a little bit harder. And that's where Tarouk Al-Shahani comes alive, when he's pushing hard, and especially in the chase position. So hopefully we see him in battle action tomorrow night. But with a score like that, I don't know how. But it's early days yet. Not going to say anything. All these drivers have to go again, and we still have about 5 drivers to go. Up next, it's another man who had a busy morning, Clint Van Oort from the Netherlands. This car in a container with Sebastian's arrives at 7 o'clock this morning. Clint, the guys, put it this way, in practice it didn't even have stickers on it this morning. That's how much work they had to do with it. So Clinto, OIDC veteran, his 5th year in a row out here in Oman. So let's see what the Dutch driver can do on his first qualifying run. 2JZ screaming into Sylvia S14 as he makes his way down. Lovely initiation from Clint, putting that back wheel perfectly on that outer line as he comes through the first inside clip. On the front brakes all the time, smoking in rear tyres, doing a nice job getting it nice and wide, filling that outer zone too. Clint told me he only had 3 laps in practice this morning, and He looks like a man that's been driving all day, if you ask me. Doing a great job. Big handbrake drag there to slow the car down. Getting them back wheels nice and wide in that outer zone. And bringing it through the centre section one more time and over the line. Yet again, another man that did not know last night if he would have a car for qualifying. So he's just delighted to get out there and put on a show for the fans here in attendance and all you watching at home. But Clint Van Oort definitely came to play, as he said, back in his trusty Sylvia. So we're just enjoying it. Yeah, a lot of left foot braking there for Clint. Had some people walking on top of me there. I'm closing the door so you don't hear all the noise from outside. But yeah, brilliant run from Clint Van Oort, so he's going to be happy with that. Right, we're back on the line, and it is the man that always does something crazy, Nasser Arharvali, representing El Salvador. 370Z V8, just insane. 750 to around 800 brake horsepower. He wouldn't tell me, kind of smirked and he walked away. Nasser definitely came to play this weekend, as we hear the screams from that car throwing it in. Early initiation and he pulls it off. Judges are going to like that one from Nasser. So we see him coming through the first inside clip, screaming. Oh, the noise of that car as it passed by my commentary box here. The floor is shaking underneath my feet. And Nasser doing a brilliant job on this first qualifying run, coming back through his own smoke. So we see him transitioning for the outside zone, doing a nice job yet again. So cool, calm and collective behind the wheel is Nasser, but yet such an aggressive driver. And a little 360 to finish it off. He's happy with that one. The fans in attendance are going insane. What a run from Nasser. Huge angle he's carrying on these transitions. Absolutely brilliant. Driving from the young man from El Salvador. And 87.3. He is going to be pumped with that one. And it puts him in a good place going into the second half of qualifying tonight. Okay, so we're going to head back to the line, and up next it is a man in a new car. Built this car, did about 5 laps, put it in a container and sent it to Oman. And if you ask me, it's probably the nicest looking drift car I've ever seen in my life. Benedictus Cherba is back in Oman, and he is in a G42 2 Series. So this is a brand new chassis from BMW. Also has the 2JZ with over 1,000 brake horsepower, and everything you see on this was custom built in-house, from the kit to the lights to everything. I walked around this car last night with him and his team, and the attention to detail is just insane. Cherba and the boys definitely built a weapon, and all I'm going to say is he can drive it too. It was that modern of a chassis I had to go up and ask, going like, what model BMW is this? It's the G42. Crazy, but look at the speed of Cherba coming down. Huge initiation. Can he hold it? Yes, he does. Putting it nice and wide through that outside zone, carrying big angle again, as we see Cherba now smoking the Muscat Drift Arena out of it here tonight, doing a good job on his first qualifying run. As he comes through now, transitioning out wide, screams at that 2JZ. As Cherba doing a brilliant job, and he has definitely came to play this season in this new car. Maybe about 20 laps altogether in this car since it's been built, and then you go out and do something like that in qualifying. Just showed you the standard of driver from Benedictus Cherba. So yeah, an 88.3 from Cherba. That is insane driving. He's going to be delighted with that. Another driver who has come to play this season. we're going to head back to the line. And up next is a guy who was here last year. He won the last round of the 2025 season. It is Tomas Kiley representing Ireland. He's back in his trusty 180SX, a whole new look from last year. You see it in the burnout box there. Kiley's car looking unbelievable in that lime green. And if you know Kiley from back in the day, that was a signature colour he was kind of known for. So yeah, let's see what the young Irishman can do on his first qualifying run here. I was talking to him this morning. I said, what power? He smirked and said, 1,000, but I have it on low boost. Now, he didn't tell me if that's 1,000 on low boost or high boost, but some of the drivers keeping the information a little bit to themselves. They don't want me telling everyone on the internet exactly what's going on. But Kiley is just one of them drivers who always does something special, really comes alive in the battles. One of the most aggressive chase drivers I've ever seen anyways. So I'm excited to see what Tomas does here on his first qualifying run. Look at that car. Looks class. Really does. So yeah, Kiley leaves the line. Big handbrake drag, trying to get that car out wide, maybe initiating just a small bit too early. Puts the foot down now, smokes them rear tyres as he comes through the first inside clip, snapping back. Very fast transition there from Tomas Kiley as we see him coming around, doing a nice job in that outer zone on the foot brake, just tapping the brake to tuck the nose in for that transition. And Kiley doing a great job here. Such a nice run. So he comes through the last two inside clips and over the finish line. Big angle, big flare, a big stylish driver from Tomas Kiley. Just maybe that there, that first inside zone. Not sure if he initiated a small bit too early or what happened, but other than that, it was a near perfect run. Just a little bit shallow in that first zone. Say the judges are going to like this one. And a 77 from Kiley. Room for improvement, but he'll be well able to do it. So we're going to head back to the line, and up next is the last of our Omani drivers. It is Ahmed Al-Amri in this crazy car. So I thought it was an S15. No, it's an S13. Made it look like an S15. It has a V8, over 800 brake horsepower, and a crazy, crazy driver behind it. Ahmed Al-Amri representing Oman, fan favourite here, always pushing up the top of the championship, contending with most of the international drivers. So let's see what he can do. Definitely wants to get a good start to this 2026 season. So we just wait for some of Kiley's smoke to clear, and then we're going to send him off for his first. Thumbs up from the marshal. Away we go. Ahmed Al-Amri leaves the line. Nice initiation. Good start to the run there. Getting the back wheel lovely and wide out to that outer zone. So you hear the screams as Ahmed Al-Amri comes through that centre section. Oh no! He shuts it down. I'm not sure what happened there. Obviously some sort of mechanical gremlin. Not what we wanted to see, and definitely not what he wanted. This is not how we wanted to start his 2026 season. He does have another qualifying run, and I'm sure whatever issue it is, hopefully him and the team will get it fixed. There's a GoPro dragging along the ground at the back of that car. Brilliant from Ahmed Al-Amri. 750 brake horsepower, V8 in that crazy Sylvia build. But yeah, Al-Amri unfortunately. So we only have one driver left in the first half of qualifying, and it is your 2025 champion. So representing Kuwait, It is the one, the only Ali Maxi. But I don't see Ali. Oh, I see his car there anyways. He's just not in the burnout box yet. Wondering if everything is alright. And then once we get Ali's run over, we're going to go back to the bottom of the grid. We're going to start again. And see who is going to be taking spots in that top 32 tomorrow night. As I say, we've over 60 drivers and only 32 spaces, so it's going to be hard to secure a spot. Only the strong will survive. I see someone running over to Ali there, not sure what happened. Oh, you're throwing something out of the car, maybe forgot to just take something out of the car. But yeah, Ali Maxi, last year's champion. Okay, so Ali has them tyres warmed up. He makes his way through the arch, enters the drift arena here in Muscat. And thumbs up for it. That's not it. I thought he was giving me a thumbs up. Ali with his signature pow pow. But yeah, this is the man to beat this year. All eyes on Mr. Maxip as he leaves the line for his first qualifying run of the 2026 season. Your 25 champion, and he's doing a nice job. Oh, maybe just pushing a bit wide towards the end of that zone. Ali trying to put as much power down as possible, carrying big speed through the first half of this round one course. As we see him now heading for the second outer zone, doing a nice job there. The drone shot, absolutely beautiful over Ali's head. Coming through this intersection, he enters the D-cell zone, dabbing the handbrake, settles the car. Flames shooting from underneath that GT86 as he comes through the middle, inside clip, and over the line. Ali Matsib is back again, and he means business. Yeah, maybe that was the only mistake there. Got a little bit wide toward the end of that zone. Probably carrying just a small bit too much speed. Was Ali. Yeah, Ali 2JZ. Guess how much power? 800 brake horsepower. I think they're all lying. I think they're all messing with me, like I think this morning. But yeah, a 72.3 for Ali McStevie. He's going to be delighted with that one. And a good start to the season for your 2025 champion. Okay, so really quick before we go back to the line, I just want to say a big thank you to all the sponsors who made this season possible here at OIDC 2026, and that is Shell, Red Bull Mobile, Muscat Knights, and the Minister of Culture, Sports and Youth. Thank you so much for your support in the 2026 OIDC season. So we are going to head back to the bottom for the first run. So when this first run happened, I was sprinting. For the first 3 runs, I was out of breath. If you missed the start of the show, you want to rewind back. It's kind of funny. I was the other side of the drift arena, and then a car left the line. A lot of people. Okay, so I'm just getting a little instruction in the window there. We're just going to have a quick little break here. Reset our systems. We'll be back shortly.
Ready for a surprise? The off-roader has evolved with hybrid.
المسابق كان على المسار حماس إثارة شفناها على المسار كثير. واحد من هالقول ال 61 متسابق معنا اليوم ما حلفوا الحظ السنة الماضية، بس خلينا نشوف رأيه باليوم وإيش مخططاته. خلينا نرحب بالبطل أحمد دحام. اهلا وسهلا.
اهلا هلا يا زين، كيف الحال؟ شو الاخبار؟ طبعا اول شيء بحب احكي اهلا وسهلا بالجميع اللي هون. الجمهور العماني اليوم معبي المدرجات. نعم. ويعطيهم الف عافيه الجمعيه العمانيه على هالبطوله. الكل بيعرف انا صار لي يمكن بشارك هون يمكن فوق ال 11 سنه 13 سنه، من اوائل الناس اللي اجوا عمان. بلشنا نشارك بطولات تاندم، الحمد لله كل سنه عم نتقدم، كل سنه بصير عندنا سبونسرز اكثر، سيارات جديده كذا. بس كان السنه الماضيه الكل بيعرف كان عندنا بلاتفورم جديد، اول مره بالشرق الاوسط تسوى جي ار 86، اول مره بالشرق الاوسط تسوى جي ار 86 عليها موتور بي 58. نعم. فشوي عانينا السنه الماضيه الموضوع هذا، بس الحمد لله السنه هاي امورنا مرتاحين وانه تمام. السياره عملناها تست مضبوط السنه هاي كلها، وان شاء الله نجيب نتيجه منيحه يعني.
ان شاء الله. احمد من زمان عندك حب كبير لعمان، لجمهور عمان، لتنظيم عمان، لحلبة مسقط. خبرنا ليه.
والله انا يعني كمان شوي حصير احكي عماني يعني.
شفنا هذا الشيء اخر فتره.
صرت دائما احكي معلوم مو اخبار يعني صراحه. لا بالنسبه لي عمان لها طعم غير صراحه يعني. لو شو ما كان لو باجي ركض بدي اشارك يعني. اجن البطوله الوحيده اللي انا اخر مره اصلا شاركت كان عمان السنه الماضيه.
نعم.
فبالنسبه لي لا البطوله هاي لها محل بقلبي غير، واكيد الجمهور العماني غير صراحه يعني. بيحبوا شيء اسمه دريفتنج. فانا بالنسبه لي لا هاي اجن من اقوى البطولات الموجوده والاكثر بطولات بحب اشارك فيها يعني صراحه يعني.
نعم. السنه الماضيه افتقدناك على منصات التتويج، هاي السنه راجعين زي ما انت عم تحكي بقوه، ايش اللي تغير من السنه الماضيه لهي السنه؟
هلا السنه الماضيه كان ما عاملين تست مضبوط للسياره، كان سياره لسه جديده على طول خلصناها اجينا شاركنا فيه هون، حتى شاركت فيها رود بول كاربا دريفت وقتها وحصل معي شويه مشاكل. الجوله اللي بعدها صار في بالانجن، الجوله اللي بعدها شيء بتير، بس اجين السنه هاي زبطناها عملنا تستي مضبوط كمان مره. اي شيء جديد بلاتفورم جديد الا تعمل تستي فيه مضبوط. هاي بعالم رياضه السيارات كلها
اكيد.
فاجين السنه هاي ان شاء الله نكون جاهزين وظبطنا السياره شوي اكثر بس.
نعم. بعد جولتك الاولى كيف رايك بالمسار؟ شو رايك بالجولات الثالثه؟ هل تتمنى تتغير المسار فيها زي مسار السنوات الماضيه؟
لا صراحه المسار يعني ما شاء الله عليهم جميع عمانيه، كل مره بيعملوا لنا مسارات تكنيكال شوي عشان السياره ما تلعب كثير دور. صفت اللي بيسوق هو يعني خلينا نحكي 80% سواقه 20% سياره.
نعم.
فتراكس التكنيكال صراحه كثير صرت احب اسوقهم عشان يعني تعطي فرصه للي ما معه خلينا نحكي بادجت صح يقدر يجيب نتيجه منيحه. على سيره البادجت كمان في موضوع حاب احكي فيه سلط الضوء عليه.
نعم.
عندنا ابطال عمانيين كثير هون لوكل مثل بطل احمد عامري، رياض، طارق الشهاني، هيثم حديدي، العلوع. في مشكله سبونسرز بشكل عام في عمان يعني.
نعم.
فيا ريت الشركات هون بعمان بشكل عام يدعموا المواهب هاي.
نعم.
يعني اجن احمد عامري انا متاكد من الابطال اذا بيرجع بشارك، اذا بيطلع بشارك برا باوروبا بامريكا باي مكان برا الشرق الاوسط ليجيب نتائج حلوه، بس طبعا انت عارف البادجت بيلعب دور.
نعم.
فيا ريت يتسلط الضوء على هذا الموضوع عشان جدا مهم.
اكيد.
يضل معنا العمانيين يشاركوا يعني. عندنا كمان مشكله انه كل سنه عم بيخفوا عدد المتسابقين العمانيين.
نعم.
فيا ريت يتسلط الضوء على الموضوع هذا ليضل العمانيين يشاركوا معنا وبرضه نفجر المواهب العمانيه الموجوده.
صحيح. حبيت كيف بديت عنا بعمان، خلص انت صرت
انا صرت
عماني
منه فيهم يعني. فكان لا عمان يعني شوف كمان مره ما في بطوله بالعالم خلينا نحكي بيعملوا اللي الجميع بيسووها من بريس كونفرنس من احترام المتسابقين يعني. انا يمكن البطوله الوحيده كدريفتنج بحس حالي بروفيشنال.
نعم.
يعني بريس كونفرنس لحالها هاي ما بتشوفها غير بالدبليو ار سي بالباها ب 24 اور. الجمعيه العمانيه اول بطوله بتعملها للدريفتنج هاي هيك شيء. بنفس الوقت هاي بتساعد السبونسرز باي ذا واي.
نعم اكيد.
لا انا هون عن جد بحس حالي متسابق دريفتنج عن جد يعني.
نعم. حاب اسالك كمان سؤال عن التقنيات والتكنولوجيا اللي عم تستخدمها الجمعيه العمانيه باحدث التطورات الموجوده. شفنا بالبريف كيف حكوا عن موضوع التليمتري، ممكن تخبرني اكثر عنه؟
هاي في سيستم اللي هو الوالي هذا اللي هو اول مره بطوله بالشرق الاوسط بيستعملوه. هذا جهاز بنحط فوق السياره يعطيك سرعه السياره، الانجل، شو اللاين اللي ماشي عليه. هذا ما بيعطي بوينتس بس بيساعد الحكام بيعطي بوينتس الكواليفاينج رن وبالباتل صراحه بفيد كثير يعني. ويا ريت كل البطولات تصيروا يستعملوها عشان برضه مفيده للسائقين.
نعم.
بعد كل براكتس انت فيك تفوت على هذا الابلكيشن تشوف سرعتك، الانجل تبعك، وين اخطات، وين سويت كويس يعني. فتكنولوجي كثير جديد واتوقع من اول بطولات بالعالم.
نعم.
اللي سووها عمان فوتوا هذه التكنولوجيا فيها يعني.
نعم 100%. احمد بخبرتك الموجوده برياضه السيارات بنشوف نحن الاستراتيجيز موجوده باغلب رياضات السيارات. طبعا انت كمان شاركت
الاستراتيجي اهم شيء يعني.
نعم. ببطوله عمان لانه 3 جولات تقدر انت تستخدم استراتيجي معينه تضلك سيف اكثر من يعني.
اكيد. هلا شوف الاستراتيجي مش اكيد زي سباقات الرالي 24 اور بيس، بس اكثر شيء هون بيلعبوا استراتيجي اللي هو بالجريب اللي هو اهم شيء بالدريفتنج.
نعم.
يعني مثلا بالكواليفاين ما بدك كثير جريب عشان ما بيهم السرعه، بدها السياره تكون سموث، لازم يكون عندك بالانس بين السياره تكون سريعه بس وقت سموث عشان تاخذ نقاط عاليه. فالفكره الاستراتيجي يعني انا بالنسبه لي هي بس موضوع بالتاير بريشر بالجريب اللي ورا.
نعم.
وبنفس الوقت يعني عندك سبوتر.
نعم.
بالدريفتنج كل بيعرف عنده سبوتر يعني. فانت لما تنزل جولتك مثلا الاولى لما تكون ليد مثلا السبوتر تبعك بيخبرك مثلا السياره وراك كانت بعيده ولا قريبه.
نعم.
هاي احدى الاستراتيجيز انك انت تلعب سيف بدك تروح اجريسيف. ففي استراتيجيز بس مش كثير معقده زي باقي الديسبلينز خلينا نحكي.
نعم. وسؤال اخير، التيم كبر كل سنه عن سنه عم
التيم
بتفهم
كبر كثير يعني صراحه، يعني اذا نحكي عن 12 سياره السنه الماضيه كان عندنا 8 سوري بسنتين كان عندنا 8. هلا زمان اول ما جيت كنت اجي لحالي بعدين صاروا 3 سيارات، بعدين صاروا 6، بعدين صاروا 9، فالحمد لله هلا يمكن عندنا 10 11 12 سياره مش قادر اعد. بس اجن عشان نفس انا بحب اطور هاي البطوله، يعني عن جد بعتبر حالي من مؤسس صغير من هاي البطوله صراحه. بحب كمان احكي شغله لجندي مجهول، هو مش مجهول، هو موجود كل مكان صراحه. يعني اللي هو سليمان رواحي، يعني طبعا اكيد يعطيهم العافيه الفريق كله، بس سليمان الرواحي لولا انا ما بتخيل كل هذا عم يصير، خصوصي قديش تركيزه بالدرفتنج. عشان عارف هاي رياضه
حتى احمد تركيزه على كل المجالات، حتى على مجال الاعلام،
كل شيء بمجال الاعلام، تقديره للمتسابقين، دعم المتسابقين، حتى دعم المتسابقين العمانيين. يعني هاي الحلبه متاحه امتى ما كان اذا للمتسابقين العمانيين يجوا يتدربوا يعملوا تست لسياراتهم. يعني فصراحه سليمان رواحي من احد الاشخاص اللي رفع مستوى رياضه الدرفتنج مش بس بالشرق الاوسط، بتخيل بالعالم كله. يعني
حلو كثير شكرا كثير على هذا الكلام الحلو احمد، نورتنا وكثير مبسوط انا بالمقابله.
على الجوله الثانيه نجيب احسن. يعني
يلا انت والمتسابقين الابطال اهم شيء سلامتكم على المسار، والتوفيق لك وللجميع. وهلا هيك نرجع للمعلقين الفخمين، خلينا نكمل الجوله الثانيه من او اي دي سي 2026 بجولتها الاولى.
بس حسيت ما كان في صوت، كان في صوت.
انت اول تجربه خارجي
بس باللايف ستريم فيه،
باللايف ستريم فيه
بعرف كل هذا حكينا عنه في
احمد بس تصور الفيديو معك بصراحه.
نكست فاينل ولا رايحه انت؟ ممكن بكره بعد. لازم الكيو يعطونا من الاخراج، ما بنعد. اوكي ايوه الصوت الخارجي ما طلع، فطلع مشكله. ايوه نستخدم هذا نكست. هذا وشوف ثانك يو بس راح اتاكد اذا في شانس ثاني، ما في شانس ثاني. بكره موجوده، بكره اول واحده.
Nice initiation there from Sandra. Look at the smoke out the back of that E36, but oh no, maybe just overtaking a small bit on that first corner, and oh, very unfortunate for Sandra. The power that's in this car, it's crazy, the noise of it. When she puts the foot down, it just starts to make clouds. And look at the flames banging from the wastegate underneath the front of that car. Absolutely insane. Some of these pro spec drift builds are nearly getting out of hand at this stage. And let's see what way the judges are going to do this. I'm not sure. I think it's a 0 because she stops. Does she stop drifting? That's a big opposite drift. Oh, and a reinitiation. If she doesn't get a 0, it's going to be a low score, unfortunately, for Sandra. Look at the bottom of that car. That's just insane. Okay, so we're heading back to the line. Up next, it is Andreas Vasiliauskas. E90 BMW. Or is it an E92? It's an E92, never mind. I think I know things, but I actually know nothing. So yeah, let's see what Andreas can do on his second run here. Hasn't been out here for the last 3 years in Oman. Back on the grid for the 2026 season. Not doing a bad job there now in the initiation. Carrying big angle through that first corner. as we see him transitioning, not a bit of handbrake inside, just a dab of the front brake to tuck the nose in, over rotate the back of the car, doing a nice job in outer zone 2 as he makes his way through the centre section again. Big transition into the decel zone, dab of the handbrake just to settle the car, and he is filling that zone near perfectly, putting that back wheel right on that outside white line just as he was asked to do in the driver's briefing. That's a good run from Andreas Vasiliauskas. We watch Vasiliauskas' replay here now, waiting on the judges' score to drop in. Let's see, did the judges like this run as much as me? And an 84.7. It's a good score. It should secure him a spot in battle action tomorrow night, round 1 of OIDC. Okay, back to the line. It is Mr. Conor Shanahan representing Ireland in the borrowed GT86. Borrowing the car from the guys at NMK Performance up in Dubai, Ahmed the Hams guys. Nearly identical to Conor's car, just the steering wheel's on the wrong side. So let's see how Shanahan can do. Your 2025 Drift Masters champion. Conor driving all over the world last year between the US, Europe. And now here he is in Oman for the first time, and he says he's loving it out here. Everyone is excited to see Shanahan and what he can do, including myself, and we don't have long to wait because Conor leaves the line for his second qualifying run. As we see him coming down, nice initiation from Shanahan, back wheel perfectly on the outside line, like there's a magnet there pulling him in as we see him working his way through the centre section, hits the 2 inside clips near perfectly on the front brakes, tucking the nose in, over rotating the back, trying to get maximum angle through that second outer zone as he makes his way through the centre section again. Little dab of the handbrake settles the car, doing a great job in the borrowed car, should I say, from Conor Shanahan as he comes through the last 2 inside clips and over the finish line. Conor Shanahan has came to play this year. That initiation perfect. Look at that. On the white line all the way around. That is exactly what the judges asked in driver's briefing earlier today. Conor Shanahan well capable, all the talent in the world. Just a guy who always puts a show on for the fans. Super excited to see what he's going to do this season in OIDC, him and his brother Jack. Just sitting here enjoying Shanahan's run, but we're going to head back to the line, and it is Olski Holovana representing Ukraine. M2 BMW. Let's see what Holovana can do on his second qualifying run. Visor down, clicks it into gear, waiting for that thumbs up from our start line marshal, just waiting on a small bit more. Shanahan's smoke to clear. It's clear enough, he gets the signal, and away Holovana goes for his second qualifying run. See him banging through the gears, making his way down the straight. Nice initiation, doing a good job there now, getting out lovely and wide in that outer zone on the front brake so he can tuck the nose right in for that first inside clip. As he transitions, hits the second inside clip near perfectly as well. Holovana doing a good job in the first half of this run. Can he hold it together to get a good score on the board and get him into battle action tomorrow night as he makes his way through the centre section yet again? Transitions into the decel zone, small dab of the handbrake, settles that BMW down as he works his way around. 2 more inside clips to go. Can he do a perfect run? It's not far off it. It's going to be interesting to see what way the judges are going to score this one, but for me, I think that was a good run. But yet again, I'm not a judge, so don't listen to me. So that's an 88.3. Judging liking this run from Holovana. Should put him high up the qualifying order and possibly secure a spot in Battle Action tomorrow night. I don't want to say it too early, just in case, get people's hopes up. But we're going back to the line, and it is Kevin Piscolti representing Hungary in this Nissan Silvia. Kevin not having a good first run, but one of these drivers, you know, making a trip over from Europe, and everyone was telling me this morning, was like, you gotta watch him, you gotta watch him, you gotta watch him, he's good. And he was very, very impressive. Had a chat with him, over 800 brake, 2JZ inside that Nissan Silvia. So a lot of work to do on this second run. What can Kevin do? How hard can Kevin push to try and get high up in that order, but not push too hard to make a mistake? Will the car hold up? Only time will tell. So Kevin's just waiting. A bit more smoke to clear. He's going to get the thumbs up from the marshal. And we're going to get this second qualifying run underway shortly. Yep, there's the thumbs up. Clicks it into gear and away he goes. Kevin Piscolti throwing it in. Nice initiation there from Kevin, getting lovely and wide. Pushing through the first inside clip, carrying big speed through that section there. That was a snappy transition from Kevin as he makes his way to the second outer zone. Nice and deep in that zone there, filling it all the way around. Like the judges asked, this is a very good run from Kevin Piscolti as we see him transitioning back. Hitting that last outer zone near perfectly. Two more inner clips. What's he going to do? Can the car survive? Will he bring it over the line? Yes, he will. That is a good run there from Kevin. Delighted to see. After the morning he had in practice, he deserves it because that was consistent runs all morning. So, let's see, did the judges like this run as much as me? Kevin representing Hungary, and he is definitely hungry for a win here. And a 91.7. Judges did like that one as much as me. He is going to be pumped with that score. Okay, we're heading back to the line. And it is Ibrahim Al-Kowali, E46, representing Lebanon. He's after seeing his teammate go ahead of him there. What can Ehab, or sorry, not Ehab, my apologies, Ibrahim. What can he do to get a score and push him up as high as Kevin? Well, ball's in your court now, Ibrahim. See him coming down, throwing it in. Early initiation, not getting really deep in that first outer zone. He puts the foot down now. You see the speed of that BMW as he makes it through his way through that first inside clip, in through the second one. On the front brakes, tucking that car, trying to get the back of it out as wide as possible, as close to that white line. As he comes through the centre section again, transitioning through the decel zone, hitting that last outer zone, doing a good job here. As Ibrahim comes through the last inside clip and over the finish line. That's not a bad run. Bit of a shaky initiation, maybe small bit too early. Came on the power and just pulled him away from that zone. He did keep one wheel in it, but judges want you hugging that white line all the way around that zone. Not a bad run from Ibrahim, so it'll be interesting to see what way the judges are going to score this one. Look at the flames underneath the bonnet of BMW. Crazy. So a 68.7 for Ibrahim. We're going to head back to the line, and it is the young man, Jihad, 13 years of age, representing Libya. My apologies, I was looking at the wrong name there. But yeah, representing Libya. This young man, 13, and a huge initiation. A little bit too early. Can he hold it? Oh, he brings him to the inside of the track. I'll give you style points because that was class. But yeah, we see Jihad now. That Jay-Z absolutely screaming as he Phil's outer zone 2, 13 years of age, and he's driving this standard of car, and he's able to drive this standard of car. Maybe nerves getting a little bit better, the young man, but 100% a name to watch out for the future. He brings it over the line. Crazy looking car. And a 44.7 for the young man. Sure what way that's going to leave him safe, but at that age I'd say he's just delighted to be here and be involved. We're going to head back to the start line, and it will be Demir Idatulian next in one of these fresh XZs. So what can Demir do on his second run? As you see him waiting for the signal from the start line, Marshall. You can see there the angle from the start line. They're going to let a bit of smoke clear just to give himself good visibility. All drivers get the same track conditions, that's the idea. So if we have to wait for smoke to clear, we have to wait, but we're not waiting much longer because he's getting a thumbs up from the marshal. Clicks it into gear, away he goes. Demir heading off for his second run. Nice initiation. I thought it was a bit early, but he pulls it off perfectly. Back wheel right on the outer zone. As we see that Z coming through the center section, looking unbelievable on track. As he fills that second outsider zone. Demir doing a great job here on this second qualifying run. Definitely wants to get a high score on the board, push himself up that qualifying order for battles tomorrow. As we see him come through the center section, transitioning for the last time and over the finish line. Not a bad run there from Demir. Really like that initiation. Hopefully the judges do too, because the aggression should be rewarded in my opinion. But yet again, I'm not a judge, just like ye, I'm just a drift fan. Okay, so we watch Demir's replay, and then we're going to head back to the line where up next it should be Mohammed Al Muzani, representing Saudi Arabia, BMW E92. Getting it all wrong on his first run, so another driver with a bit of work. He looks happy, he looks calm, he doesn't look nervous at all. Okay, so same thing again. We're just going to wait for the smoke to clear. Once the sun sets here in Muscat, the wind dies down. Okay, track manager reckons it's clear enough. Thumbs up from the start line, and away he goes for his second qualifying run. Oh, inside initiation. Missing that inside clip, the outer zone completely. Gets the inside clip. So we see him coming through the first transition. Big, snappy. Yet again, that car not looking like it's really playing ball. He looks like he is fighting it. Dab at handbrake halfway through that zone just to keep the car going. Al Muzani doing whatever he can, but just a little bit too wide there on the transition. 1, 2, 3 wheel drop. Oh, it's going to be close. Not going to be the most highest scoring run you'll see tonight, unfortunately for him, but look, that's what happens. Sometimes the cars just don't play ball. See here, when you get into this zone, try to keep the speed, and then just, sorry, it wasn't this zone, it was the next one, it was after the transition. He tries to keep the speed coming into the decel zone, and then just went a little bit wide there, and then that's where it all goes. At this point, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 even. It's not far off it. It's an 18.3, so look, it wasn't 4 wheels, but definitely wasn't far off it. So we'll have to go and evaluate things on the car and see can he get it ready for round 2 in a couple of weeks. But we're going to head back to the line to man on a mission, Mr. Jack Shanahan in the borrowed car, back in an S chassis. And how cool is the livery look on this car? Jack Shanahan making drift cars cool again. So let's see what he can do on his second qualifying run. Jack changing this car around all morning, changing spring rates in the front. Obviously, it's not his car, so he's just trying to adapt to it and get him and the car on the same page. And trust me, Jack Shanahan, he's a drift alignment guru, okay? If any man can do it, he just speaks to the car, he does, and it works for him. So I'm excited to see what Jack's going to do here on his second qualifying run. It's absolutely unreal to have both Shanahan brothers on the grid this weekend. Both of them in borrowed cars. And both of them putting on a show already in borrowed cars. So just waiting for the last bit of smoke to clear. Yeah. Thumbs up from Shanahan, and away he goes. S15 screaming down. James Dean built S15, but Jack Shanahan throwing a backwards entry, and he just doesn't hold it. As I nearly threw my hat on the ground, that could have been the coolest thing we've seen all night. Does a great job now to get the car back online. Jack bringing that flair that he's known for, driving that JZ on the limiter around that second outer zone, as we see him coming through the centre section now, flicking back in a little bit wide coming into that zone. Jack doing a good job now. Can he hold it? That car looking like it's just washing a small bit too much for him. Maybe not as good as his first run, but he definitely pushed to put on a show here. Watch this initiation. If he had held that, it would have been the greatest thing we would have seen all night. It's so good though, like, to get that car back online, lifting the leg, coming through that inside clip, just really pushing. Hear the limiter screaming on that S15. Shanahan definitely pushing hard, trying to get as much points as possible to get himself up the order. 48.7. Unfortunately, the risk reward not working out too well for Jack this time, but see him later on. But yeah, we're going to head back now to the line, and it is Abhi Patel representing India, GT86. This car was not driving right for his first qualifying run, so I'm curious to see what changes him and his team have made, what they can do, and can he get a decent score on the board to try and put himself in battle action tomorrow night. So we're just waiting on some of Shanahan's smoke to clear. Okay, thumbs up from the start line, Marshall, and away Abby goes. He bangs through the gears on the run up. Oh, a bit of a wobble in there. Didn't look like the smoothest initiation. Brings him straight to the inside of the track, and no, that car is there's something wrong in the front of that car. I'm not sure what it is. I really hope him and the guys can figure it out. But unfortunately, that will be a 0 on his second run. It's just like probably trying to figure it out himself, going, why is this car not working? Like, what's going on here? But we're going to see the replay now in a second, and you'll see on the run up, it just when he went to do the weight transfer initiation, the car had different ideas. Driver wanted to go one way, the car wanted to go the other, and in the end, no one won. Okay, so we're going to head back to the line, and up next it will be Andreas Lilja representing Sweden. Toyota Supra. Andreas, this car is just insane build. Struggling a small bit earlier on with cooling temperatures, so hopefully him and the guys got that sorted. Second time out here in Oman. First time he came, he just was mechanical gremlins. He told me the car is much better now. We fixed everything, so I am rooting for Andreas here. 1,000 brake horsepower entering the circuit, and listen to the noise of that 2JZ. So we see the Mark IV Supra gliding around that first corner. Lovely red and blue flashing lights on the front as he comes through, heading up outer zone 2, a little bit shallow, not getting as deep as he wanted at the start of the zone. Putting the foot down now. Listen to the screams of that car as he comes into the decel zone now. Little dab of the handbrake, steady up the car, and then away he goes through the inside clips and over the finish line. That's not a bad run from Andreas Lulja. But is it enough to get him into battle action tomorrow night? Wait, Andreas' score to drop in. 70 score on the board. Will it be enough? I am not sure. I don't have the live order in front of me, so like you guys want to wait and see at the end who our top 32 cars is. But we are back on the line, and it is Moyad Al Muzani representing Saudi Arabia, V8 Sylvia, S14, S15 front, S14.5 if you want to get technical. See him throwing it in there now. Oh. As soon as he comes on power, see how far that car jumped forward. The grip in the back of that Sylvia is insane. Oh yeah, doing a nice job now to get him back on the line as he screams right by our judging tower here. Not too deep on that line, and oh, he's driving straight. Something's after going wrong. You see the head in the cockpit and he's just looking down, so he's looking at a screen or a gauge or something, but unfortunately for Moyad, it will be a zero. So yeah, zero on the second run. We're going to head back to the line, and up next it's the first of our Latvian drivers, E36 BMW Artos Miskins. Another guy that got it all wrong on his first run, so he's a bit of work to do here. Has he fixed the issue or whatever it was? Hopefully he can. I hate seeing guys travel all the way over, shipping the cars and all that, and then something silly like mechanical gremlins getting the better of them. So hopefully him and his team have that sorted. Arthur's waiting for the signal from this marshal, just still a bit more smoke to clear. As we swap out our Starline marshals, there we go, the ever rotating team. Man, the track team here in OIDC, there's so many of them and everyone can do any job at any time. These boys, they're just on it. That's the only way you can describe it. So we're just waiting to get the signal from the tower. Artros leaves the line now for his second qualifying run. What can he do to push himself up into that top 32? Nice initiation, but oh no, getting it all wrong. Bring him to the inside of the track. Definitely this late in the game as well, you want to be ticking all the boxes, secure as many points as possible on a run, and unfortunately missing that outer zone is going to be a big enough deduction from the start. Let's see what Arthros can do as he comes into the decel zone, and oh, just off the handbrake a little bit too early as well, nearly missing that last outer zone. Two more inside clips as he flicks through and over the finish line, but so we're going to have to wait and see where he finishes up. But yeah, unfortunately I don't think that'll be enough to give him a spot in battle action tomorrow night. So we're going to have to wait and see, but we're going to move on to our next Latvian driver, and it will be Alves Ledskinis. Another E36 BMW V8 supercharged, up in the 750 800 brake horsepower club. So we're just waiting on the smoke to clear here from the track from the last run, and away we go. Alvarez making his way down, flicking it in, nice initiation, getting lovely and wide there through that first corner as we see him putting the foot down now and smoking the Muscat Arena out of it, doing a good job as he makes into the centre section, transitioning for the first time, doing a lovely job here on this first half of this run. Can he hold it together? Is it going to last? Yes, it is. That was a nice zone for him as he makes his way through now. One more transition, working into the decel zone. Oh, just a little bit wide, but he holds it, smoking out the beautiful Muscat Arena and bringing it over the line. That's not a bad run. Alvarez just one or two little mistakes in places, but it should be a score on the board. So we're just waiting for Alvarez's score to drop in. A 71. Few mistakes, but not bad at all. Just dropping places in one or two spots at the track. So you'll definitely know where to improve for future. But yeah, we're heading off to the third of our Latvian drivers, the one, the only, Egars Kroigas. F22 BMW, over 800 brake horsepower, V8. And an absolute legend driving the car, OEDC veteran. Wasn't here last year, even flew out for the last round just to spectate and said, nope, not missing it again. So he went home, built this car, and now he's back again. Locks the front brakes there, coming into that corner. And it worked out near perfect for Kroigas as he makes his way through the centre section, snapping into the transition. Nice job through the first inside clip as we see him coming out, filling that outer zone near perfectly as Egars working his way back through the centre section again as he makes his way to the decel zone. Dab of the handbrake, settles down the kebab fighter as he loves to call it, and brings it through the last two inside clips and over the finish line. Egars Kroigas came to play this season. What a run. I like that. Look at the smoke. He literally locked all four there coming in and still made it work. So whether it's fluke or skill, I don't know, but I liked it. That's the main thing. So let's see, did the three men who are sitting up above me like it? Yes, they did. An 84 for the Latvian driver, Egars Kroigas. Will that be enough to put him in battle action later on tonight? Well, we're going to have to wait and see. I'm as excited as you guys to see that top 32 and see what battles will be fantasy booking all night long, looking at the battle sheet. As we head back to the start line now, and then up next it is Saeed Al Salah representing Jordan, BMW E46. So what can Saeed do? As we hear the screams of that car making his way down, not filling that outer zone as well as he would have liked to. He's doing a good job now to tuck the nose in for the inside clip, and dropping a wheel, picking up some cones. Do you know what? Maybe he just said, here, the cones want to see a lap of the track, I'll just bring them off with me. As we see him now filling that zone, lovely there. He's actually doing a great job with them cones. I don't know how that car's steering. Oh! Did it look like the cone just getting stuck? I seen his wheel twitching a lot there from the drone shot. Fair play to him from holding out. He's more angled one way than the other. You can clearly see that. So Saeed doing a good job there on his second qualifying run. Saeed gets a score of 63.7. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. So we're going back to the line. It's another driver representing Jordan, Nazir Henya. Another guy that just from the outside observing this morning looked like he was having some issues with this car. Hopefully him and his team get it sorted and they can get him into battle action tomorrow. Let's see what Nazir can do. Okay, so we're going to thumbs up from the start line, Marshall. Yep, there it is there. Nasir is going to head off, clicks it into gear, and away he goes. Screams at Jay-Z as he makes his way down the straight. Initiates, and as he initiates, his headlights just popped on, and then the car went to the inside of the track. That was a very weird initiation, if you ask me. Obviously, his headlights didn't come on, they just changed colour. They went from yellow to blue to purple. That's class. But unfortunately, it's probably the only class thing about this run. He's just not making it work. That car is fighting him till the end. He's not giving up though. He's like, I'm doing a lap. Whether you like it or not, car, I am doing this lap. Love the commitment. But yeah, I'd say now, if I was a betting man, it would be a low score. He will put a score in the... Oh, maybe not. That was a big straight in there. Judges might deem that too long, and it could be a 0. It is a 0, yeah. That big straight, and unfortunately, just not what the judges wanted to see. They wanted to see the car more on angle. So yeah, Nazir, a lot of work to do to figure out that car, but he has a couple of weeks before round 2, so hopefully him and the team can get it sorted. Okay, so we're going back to another driver from Jordan, Anas El Hello. So let's see what he can do. As he makes his way down, throws it in. Nice initiation, doing a good job here now. First corner, tucks it in, lovely for the inside clip. Flicking back, look at the smoke out the back of that car. Absolutely pluming out. As he puts the foot in through that second outside zone. And flicking back. That's a nice run so far. Can he hold it through the last section? Yes, he can. Brings it over the line. And Nas doing a good job there, but did the judges like that run as much as me? Back to the line. And up next is another female driver. It's Adrienne Wheatley representing Ireland. 79.3 there for Anas. He'll be delighted with that run. So Adrienne in this beautiful prepared PS13. It's a credit to her and her team. Unbelievable looking car. Yes, that is a paint job with just a few stickers on top of it. Candy red paint job to be precise. When the sun was hitting it earlier on, it looked insane. Adrienne making the trip out here, first time driving outside of Ireland, and being honest with you, she was actually very cool, calm and collective before qualifying tonight, so I'm really rooting for her. One of the nicest girls you will meet in drifting. And a big inspiration to a lot of females who want to get into this crazy sport all around the world. Here she is driving with some of the best drivers in the world, and what can she do on her second qualifying run? Nice initiation, gets out nice and deep into that outer zone. Adrienne doing a great job there now. She comes through the first transition in the centre. We see her stomping on the front brakes, not too deep in that second outer zone, but she is one, maybe two wheels in it as she comes back through her own smoke, gets ready to transition into the decel zone, dab of the handbrake, settles the PS13 down, and then it is foot to floor for the last two corners, transitions through the inside clip and over the finish line. It's not a bad run at all. She only gained her pro license in Ireland last year, so last year was her first season as pro, and ended up out here as well. It's been a dream year for her so far, and credit to her. She puts in the effort behind the scenes, always driving, always practicing, so love to see it paying off for someone who deserves it. But what did the judges think? 65.7, it's a score on the board. She'll be delighted with that. She actually said to me a couple of weeks ago, she said, as long as I don't go out here and make a show of myself, I'm happy. Which she definitely has not done that. So, right, back to the line. It is the 17-year-old from the UAE, Khalifa Al Fahassi. Turbo V8. Under the bonnet of this 180 SX. Another man who's done a lot of driving. He went out to Riga during the summer, should I say, hit Europe up, did as much driving as possible. Always driving around the Middle East. Has practice cars. You always see him as much as possible. He's in a Z or something. Just getting seat time. And seat time's king. So let's see what the young man can do. As he leaves the line. Nice flick initiation. See the flames shooting from the bonnet. And that 180 SX. He puts the foot down. Now listen to the screams of that car as he makes his way through the centre section for the first time. Some speed in that transition. Full throttle all the way. Getting lovely and wide. Out to that outer zone. This is a nice run from Khalifa. As we see him transitioning into the decel zone. Putting the back wheel right on that white line. Just as the judges asked. And bringing it over the finish line. That's a very good run. Khalifa's going to be delighted with that one. Such a nice guy he is. Really good driver. That's the worst thing as a commentator as well. You get to know these guys on a personal level and then you become friends with everyone. You just want everyone to do well, but we can't have 60 winners unfortunately. 80.3 though. We could have a potential winner on him tomorrow night because that's after pushing him up the order. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Will Khalifa make it into the top 32? I think he will. But we're going back to the line and it is Youssef Bafworth representing Saudi Arabia, A90 Supra, 2JZ, over 1,000 brake horsepower, and a crazy man behind the wheel. That's a combination. So what can Youssef do here in the second run? Thumbs up to the live stream camera, smiles all around. Just waiting a bit on Khalifa's smoke to clear. Khalifa leaving a lot of smoke on the track, making Youssef wait. Thumbs up from both marshal and driver. Knocks it into gear and away he goes for his second qualifying run. As we see that Supra banging through the gears, making his way down the straight, throwing it in. Nice initiation there from Youssef. As he puts the back wheel perfectly on that white line through that first outer zone. Tucks the nose lovely into that first inner clip. Second inner clip, perfect. This is a good run so far from the Saudi driver. Youssef now getting a little bit too deep towards the end of that, maybe dropping one wheel just after the second outer zone as he comes in, transitions into the decel zone, a little bit wide there on the handbrake, washing it into the third outer zone as he makes his way around the second last corner, transitions through the inside clip and over the finish line. Nice run. One little mistake that I think I picked up on, that was coming out of outer zone 2, we went a bit wide, which then put him wide for the decel. But I think there was only one wheel, maximum 2 he dropped. So we'll have to wait and see what way the judges look at that. See that there when he's playing with the throttle, how much the back of the car was just jumping. It shows you the grip that's in these professional drift cars. It's just insane. And it seems to be getting bigger and bigger every year. Jay Youssef, not a bad run at all. We're going back to the line. Up next it is Hussein Mislami, C6 Corvette. What can Hussein do on his second run here to push him further up the order? The focus, the concentration, and now he gives us a wave. That's what I'd say. Normally he's a smiley, happy-go-lucky chap, you know. Oh, he's telling the start line marshal he wants a bit more smoke cleared before he goes. See, it's hard to tell from that angle there. Now it does look like you're driving blind in, but sometimes the live stream cameras can fool you what it looks like. So I'm just going to stand up and have a look myself. It's a little bit smoky there. The wind is blowing it off though, so let's see what Hussein can do on his second qualifying run, throwing it in. Nice initiation. The C6 Corvette just twitched a small bit, drops one wheel halfway around that outer zone. Jumps on the front brakes now to try and tuck the nose in for the first inside clip. Second inside clip, can he keep this Corvette on qualifying line, doing what the judges asked and try and gain maximum points here tonight in Muscat? As we see him coming through the centre section, not too deep in that clip, but doing a good job there in the decel zone, getting nice and wide out on the power back wheel, right on that white line. Two more inside clips to go, transitioning for the last time and out over the finish line. It's not a bad run from Hussein Islami. Just there, halfway through that first clip, I don't know what, he dialed on more angle, which ended up dropping one, maybe two wheels, so I'm sure he'll be a little bit disappointed in that. But other than that, that's a very good run from Hussein. Look at that there, filling that zone there perfectly on the front brakes. Good job here, look, bang, nice and wide. Dab of the handbrake, not too much, exactly like the judges asked in the driver's briefing earlier today. And a 77.7 for Hussein. Okay, so we're back on the line and it is Victor Jansu, one half of the Swedish Drift Brothers, in a borrowed car from his good friend Nasser Harbali. 350Z V8, crazy build. This is Nasser's old car. So let's see what Victor can do. He's only out here for one round for a bit of fun. You know what? You're dead right. You have the opportunity, do it. Why wouldn't you? As we see Victor coming through the centre section now, carrying a lot of speed in this 350Z. That V8 absolutely screaming, filling that second outer zone very, very nicely as he makes his way back through the centre section again. Lovely and deep on that clip. This is not a bad run for Victor Jansu. He is going to be delighted with this one. So we see him come through the last corner. Two more inside clips. Oh, maybe just dropping one wheel on the inside there. Oh, was that the... did he just make a little mistake at the end there that will probably affect his score? I'm not 100% sure. I really liked this run. It was fast, it was fluid, it flowed nice. Victor Jansu putting on a show here. Just look perfectly out to the white line. Bang! And then over here, out to the white line. Just near perfection coming through that last transition. 67.7. Them wheel drops there at the end, because that's 182 and that's 182 there as well. It's hard to tell from the drone angle. So Victor, we'll have to wait and see if he will be moving on. But we got another unbelievable looking Z. It is Robert Babagulian. Robert did this crazy initiation on his first qualifying run, literally snapped it to 90, so I'm super excited to see what he can do on the second run. Really liking these urban cars look. It's just so cool. Purple and orange. Nice. Right, Robert clicks it into gear. Away he goes. Through the chicane, makes his way down. Using loads of the track. Big initiation again, but just a small bit too wide. Does a good job to bring them rear wheels back in on the circuit, in between the white lines, as we see him come through the centre section and transitioning very fast. Stomping on that front brake, controlling the front of the car, over-rotating the back a bit, getting it nice and wide into that zone as we see him coming up now, dialing off a small bit of angle before he transitions into the decel zone. This is not a bad run from Robert. So he's on the front brakes, transitions one more time and over the finish line. Good run from Robert Babagulian. watching this replay here. Such a fast run. That car gripped up to the max. So even there, just dialed off a bit of angle because he knew he was going wide. He didn't want to drop the wheel there, but ended up sacrificing the start of the run, or start of the zone, should I say. So a 72 for Robert. Another score on the board. He'll be happy with that. And we're going to move on to the next driver. And the next driver is Mr. Ahmed Daham, GR86. Beautiful build. Serious first run from Daham. That B58 screaming in this car. He is happy. You can tell by the smile that he is happy. Ahmed Daham looking for a good start to the 2026 season here in OIDC. He wants to be a championship contender come round 3, and no doubt if he keeps driving the way he is, he'll be up there. So let's see what Daham can do as he flicks it in. Nice initiation, loads of angle, but no! He's going to tell me I jinxed him there by saying that Ahmed Daham just pushing that little bit too hard. If he had a hell, it would have been class. But unfortunately, he didn't. So Daham will be kicking himself, but he got a good run in on his first one. So let's see if he'll be secure later on for the battle action. But yeah, I don't even think we need to see a replay of that one. Just on to the next one. So up next it is Salam Asraf S15 LS7 twin turbo 800 brake horsepower, and a seriously good run for his first qualifying run. So another man that probably will be pushing that bit harder to try and put himself up higher in the ranks. We see him lead the line through the chicane, screams at that V8 as he makes his way down, drifting the whole way down. Backwards entry near again, doing the same as Daham. Another guy pushing a little bit hard, going, right, how much can we get out of this? So listen to the scream of that car as he puts the foot down now. Flames shooting out of both sides of the bonnet. This is unbelievable. Yeah, unfortunately, the start of the run just pushed a little bit too hard. So I'm just, big flames shooting out the bonnet there. That's insane. Only imagine what that's like from the driver's seat. Not one flame, but two huge ones. It's like pyro going off in front of you. So yeah, Salam having the time of his life in this run here. He's just trying some crazy stuff, seeing what he can get away with or where the limit of the car is. If he had held that entry, him and Jack Shannon, Ahmed Daham, these boys trying these big backwards entries into that first corner. Okay, so we're going back to the 9. It is Ali Shouani, IS 300, representing the UAE. Let's see what Ali can do on his first run. If I remember correctly, I think it was a bit twitchy on the first one. Sorry, see what Ali can do in the second run. If I correct, I think it was twitchy on the first, but I could be wrong. 60 something cars here, it's 120 runs, so it's hard to try and remember everyone's off the top of your head. We see the Carbon Kevlar IS 300. Just waiting for the smoke to clear. And then we're going to send Ali off on his second run. Okay, there we go. Ali is off, and that's a fast run down the straight, but just on the handbrake a little bit too early, which brings him completely to the inside of the track, not where he's meant to be. So what's he going to do now to try and get that car back online as we see him transitioning there? See that car jumping forward when he lets off the clutch. Loads of grip in that IS 300. On the front brakes all the way through that corner. Good job now in the second half of this run is Ali. So we see him making his way into the centre section for the last time. Going to transition and through that last clip and over the finish line. Ali Shouani. Crazy IS 300. That's what that is. Behind my window here, you can feel the floor shaking. Bangs from the wastegate of that car. It's just crazy. So we just look at Ali's replay here. And a 63.7 on his second run, so we'll have to wait and see if he is secured a spot for battles later on. We're back to the line. And up next it is Wokas. Jumping out with a Mustang and into the 46 this season. What can he do? Oh, there's a bit of oil on the start line. That's how clued in the start line marshals are. Someone's leaking. Is it Wokas or is it Ali Shawani? Obviously they don't want the guys to damage their engines, and then we don't want to destroy the track. So thumbs up from the marshal and away we go. Wokas leaves the line. He makes his way down the straight. Wide initiation, clips a cone, and he's just gone too wide. Is it 2-3 wheels maybe off there on that first corner? Shuts it down. Not sure what's going on. Obviously some sort of mechanical issue for Wokas. As he brings it through the centre section. V8 screaming in this BMW. Trying to keep it as fast as possible and get as many points from the judges in the second half of this run. But the question is it all comes down to that first corner. He went very, very wide. Definitely 2-3 maybe. And unfortunately there for Wokas. So we're going to head back to the line, and up next it is Mohammed Shieb, representing Lebanon in the GT86. Had a nice first run, so let's see what he can do on the second one. Another driver going to be pushing to try and get himself higher up the ranks. Done a lot of driving in the off season, really came into his own this year. Top qualifier at the last round of the Emirates Drift Championship a couple of weeks ago. Look at the focus in the eyes, not even acknowledging the camera. Normally he's a smiley, happy lad, but no, he's like, I got a job to do, and I'm going to do it. Okay, so we're just waiting on more smoke to clear. See the flashing lights on the roof? That is Wally. Wally is back with us in Oman this year. Race Data Labs Mike has brought out Wally, and he is aiding the judges upstairs. We will be hopefully getting some of that 3D rendering of the runs on our live stream tomorrow for the battles. But yeah, if you don't know what Wally is, look up Race Data Labs. Is the future of drifting. This literally takes every bit of information and immediately puts it in a 3D run that the judges can watch back on from multiple angles, see speed, angle, on, off, throttle, on brake, off brake, and he's always just adding bits to it. I seen Wally at Drift Masters in Ireland earlier in the summer, or last year should I say, and it's a completely different setup to what's out here now, so always evolving and trying to aid the judges, because let's be honest, it's the hardest job in judging, or in drifting, is judging, so every bit of information they can get will help them. And Race Data Labs bringing as much of that as possible. Fair play to OIDC for bringing the guys back out again. And yeah, really hope we get it on our live stream tomorrow, because I get blown away by it. I spent most of practice just watching the 3D runs, just looking at the data. It's just very interesting if you're a technical drift fan. But enough about Wally, it's all about Mohammed Sieb as he gets ready to leave the line for his second qualifying run. Big weight transfer, using all the track, getting out nice and wide for that first outer zone. Puts the foot down, that screams out his GT86 as he makes his way through first section, doing a nice job in that transition, getting lovely and wide early, which look put him in a perfect line early for that second zone, setting the car up exactly where it needs to be. Mohammed, a very calculated driver would be the way I describe him. And you know what? It seems to be paying off for him, because this is not a bad run at all as he makes his way through the centre. Last transition and over the finish line. Give it up there for Mohammed Sieb. Really enjoying this run. It's that section there. He came out so wide after the inner clip, but just lined him up perfect for that zone. Seen a lot of drivers make that mistake that they end up coming back in too soon. But yeah, an 86.3, so he's going to be delighted with that one. The judge is liking it nearly as much as me, so. Right, we're going to head on back to the start line for our next driver. Up next it is Dennis Miguel in another one of these fresh XZs. Beautiful car. Just finished to such a high standard. And there's 3 of them. That's what the mad thing is. Not just 1, but 3. So you can see him psyching himself up in the car there. He is pumped. Love hard out to the fans. He's ready to send this Z in hard. Dennis, a well capable driver. We've seen him here multiple years, no IDC. No stranger to the second day in battle action, so let's see what he can do here tonight to secure that spot. Clicks it into gear, dab at a handbrake, and away he goes. Dennis Miguel, run 2. So you see him making his way down. Nice initiation, lovely and wide. Right on that outer zone. This is a great run there from Dennis Miguel as he's tipping his way right through the centre section. Fast transition, very, very fast transition. As he puts the foot down now, right on the front brake, trying to get the back of that car lovely and wide. As you see him come through the centre section into the decel zone. Bit of a handbrake drag there just to settle her down. Try and get the Z back on the correct line. As he puts the foot to floor and brings it through the last 2 inside clips and over the finish line. Dennis Miguel, that's not a bad run. Okay, watch Dennis's replay here. His score drops in an 83.7. The judges liking that run from Dennis Miguel, looking really comfortable in this Z. We are going to head back to the line, and up next it should be the one, the only Ramzi Ahmed Ramzi. S14 2JZ, 900 brake horsepower, representing Egypt. Seriously good run for his first one. So what can Ramzi do here to push himself further up the order? A nice initiation from Ramsey. I kind of got distracted watching it there going, gee, that was near perfect. But yeah, Ramsey coming through the centre section for the first time, smoking the Muscat Drift Arena out of it. Bringing it lovely and wide through that outer zone as he heads back through the centre again. Getting ready to enter the decel zone. Little dab of the handbrake, kills off a bit of speed. Maybe a bit too much, ends up a small bit shallow for that last outer zone, but he makes his way through the final section of this round 1 course and over the finish line. Not a bad run from Ramsey. Lovely initiation, I really like that one. So nice on the front brake from start of the zone to the inside clip. Full throttle all the way through, very fluid. And a 77.3 for Ramsey. He's going to be happy with that one. We're getting ready to go back to the line, and it will be the local boy up next, Haitham Al Haididi. S15 V8, crazy driver. the perfect combination. Look at the focus in the Omani driver's face. He is ready to go. He knows the challenge that is here. He wants to be in that top 32. He knows a lot of people in the grandstands and at home are rooting for him. So what can Haitham Al Haididi do? Well, we're about to find out. Thumbs up from the start line marshal. Thumbs up from the driver. Oh, thumbs up's there, but Haitham's like, I'll just give it another second. Now he's away as he leaves the line, screaming down. Ah, beautiful initiation. Haitham Al Haididi getting so wide in that first zone, doing a brilliant job as he tucks the nose for the first inside clip and transition now. Very snappy, very fast through that centre section. As you see him really wide for that second outer zone. Haitham Al Haididi definitely wants that top spot in qualifying tonight as he comes into the D-cell zone now. Dab of the handbrake, scrubs off a bit of speed and puts the foot down, filling the last outer zone as he comes through, aiming for the centre section. One more transition. Can he hold it? Yes, he can. That's a good run there from Haitham Al Haididi. Omani driver definitely came to play this season. Definitely a fan favourite. The roar that just happened outside the window when he went over the finish line. Such a nice guy. Such an aggressive driver as well, really is. An 81 there for Haitham Al Haididi. That's a good score. He's going to be happy with that one. So we're going to move back to the start line, and it is our second Egyptian driver. It is Karim. And we're going to see how Karim can do. Karim Rashid on his second run is beautifully prepared car, as he calls it, his Europe car. Still don't know why he calls it that, but let's see how Karim can do. Brilliant first run. Very technical driver, and all he wants is as much information as possible. And look at that, it seems to work out. Back wheel right on the line. Perfect initiation there as he pushes through the first inside clip. Look at the speed of him through the centre section. A very fast transition, lining himself up for that second outer zone. Doing a good job out there as well, filling that zone near perfectly all the way around as Karim makes his way back through his own smoke. Transitions again into the D-cell zone. Lovely and wide for the third outer zone. He's only got two more inner clips. Can he hold it as he comes through for the last transition? Beautiful transition there for Karim. I really like that run. I think that's going to be a high scoring one. Still can't get over his two identical cars, and he was laughing at it yesterday. I was looking at them in the pits and I just couldn't believe that everything, like literally everything, is exact same from one to the other. So he's like, once you know one car, you know two cars. One car's for Europe, one car's for Egypt. Makes sense, really, doesn't it? And a 90.7, he's going to be over the moon with that one. Brilliant run there for Karim, and that will secure him a spot definitely in battle action tomorrow. Not many 90 points dropping in qualifying tonight. So we're back on the line. It's another Irish driver, Mr. Alan O'Loughlin, returning for his second year here in Oman. 1.5 JZ, 180 SX. Let's see what Alan can do. I can tell you, I don't know if it comes across on the live stream, but the sound of this car in person, it's amazing. Just has this little high note off it like nothing else. Look at a little cheeky wink from, huh? Little cheeky boy there, that's what that was. So we see smoke is still clearing there after Karim, so they're going to wait and give Alan all the visibility going into that first corner. Driver happy. Yep, thumbs up from Marshall, thumbs up from driver, doors closed, and away O'Loughlin goes for his second qualifying run as he makes his way down the straight, banging through the gears. Big initiation, very fast for Alan O'Loughlin, filling that zone nicely. So you see him now tucking the nose in beautifully for that inside clip, and a snappy transition there. This is the Alan O'Loughlin that we're used to seeing back home as he makes his way outer zone 2, near perfectly all the way. Last time he dropped the wheel around there, not making that mistake again as he comes into the D-cell zone now. Small dab of the handbrake, settles down that Sylvia, puts the foot in and lines it up for the last two inside clips, transitioning for the last time, and he brings it over the line. It's a good run there from Alan O'Loughlin. that initiation was so fast. Carried good pace all the way around that corner, so. Look at that, bang, snappy transition, didn't even think about it, just kick the clutch and send it. That's what we want to see here. Alan, yeah, not making the same mistake. He dropped wheels at the end of that zone the last time, so he's not making that mistake again. One wheel drop there coming into the decel zone, so it's a 74.3 for O'Loughlin. Judges obviously seen a few things that they didn't like. We'll have to wait and see if Alan has a spot in the top 32 tomorrow night. But we have 14 more drivers to go, so we'll have to wait. So up next it is Omani driver, that is Riyad Al Musabi, jumping out of his Supra into this 370Z 800 brake horsepower V8 as our social media guy, making sure I'm getting that snap because that is needed. Now he had the look of, oh, I'm on the live stream. So yeah, what can Riyad do for his second qualifying run? As the drone zooming in on him, look mental. Riyad, nice initiation there, lovely and wide for that outer zone. Really gelling with this new car as we see him making his way through the centre section. First transition, very fast, but oh, unfortunately Riyad not able to hold it. For a split second there I thought that was transition of the day. Just unfortunate there, yeah. Riyad pushed a little bit too hard. He knows what's at stake here. He knows the standard of driving that is in Oman this year. Watch this. Bang off. He'd held that. That would be class. But just a small bit too early maybe as well on the transition. So that will be a 0 for his second run. Okay, so back on the line it is Daniel Maximoff making some big changes to the Supra, or to that Silvia. And when I say big changes, I mean removing a supercharger, bringing it down in power and getting more grip into the car. So what can Maximoff do here to secure a spot in battle action tonight? Sorry, tomorrow night. We'll have to wait and see. Beautiful looking Silvia, absolutely beautiful, well finished car as well. Such a nice guy as well as Daniel. Okay, so he's banging through the gears. Big early initiation, but it's going to bring him to the inside of the track. It would have been perfect if he did it a couple of seconds later. What can he do now coming into the centre section? How can he get this car back online as he's washing a small bit wide? See him putting the foot down here, and the scream from the V8. Very shallow, missing that zone near completely as well. Daniel now making his way into the decel zone. Not a sniff of handbrake, just throttle all the way, trying to keep it as fast as possible, but not really ticking the boxes like the judges want to see. So I don't think that'll be a high scoring run for Daniel Maximoff. So we're just watching Daniel's replay here. Just too many little mistakes in silly places. But sorted. I'm sure it's a whole new car now that he's changed absolutely nearly everything with it. But we're going back to the line, and it is Sebastian Fonten, who technically is on lap number 3 here in Oman. Car just arrived this morning, 7 a.m. The container from the Netherlands with him and Clint van Oort's car both arrived. So let's see what Fonten can do on this second run. He did a very good first run, especially for no practice. So let's see. Early initiation, not too deep in that first zone, but he does have 2 wheels in there as he makes his way around the corner now. Ready to flick back. Snappy, fast transition. That E36 BMW 2JZ screaming. Sebastian stomps on the front brakes, making sure the rear wheels are exactly where he wants them to be. Coming through, transitioning into the diesel zone. Dab of the handbrake settles the car, blinded by his own smoke as we watch him coming around the corner for the last time. Transitioning, hits the two inside clips and over the line. It's not a bad run for Sebastian Fonten. Really enjoying that run there from Sebastian Fonten. Nervous way all last night, wondering will that car turn up, and luckily it did turn up this morning, and the guys had a small bit of work to do, so I'm just delighted that he got his chance to make it to qualifying tonight. But look, we're going back to the line. It's Abdullah Hamada representing Jordan, E92, from yellow to orange this year, and it looks equally as cool as last year. Cool, calm and collective. You can see it there. He's just waiting. He knows the job that's at hand and what has to be done. So let's see what Abdullah can do on the second qualifying run here at round 1 of OIDC in the beautiful Muscat Drift Arena. Away he goes. Abdullah now making his way to the initiation zone, banging through the gears, doing a nice job on that first zone, filling it near perfectly, tucks the nose, lovely for the inside clip as you see him transitioning back now. That's not a bad run so far from Abdullah as he makes his way nice and wide into outer zone 2, pushing it and pushing it and pushing it back into the center section again. This is such a good run from Abdullah as we see him dabbing the handbrake, slows it down just a small bit, making his way through that last outer zone. 2 more clips, inside clips, last transition. Can he hold it? Yes he can. Abdullah, that was an unbelievable run, my friend. Just enjoying this replay yet again. Watch it here. Abdullah doing such a good job. And an 85, well deserved there. The judges liking it just as much as me. It was such a clean run. So let's see where that puts him in the order. But we move back to the line and it is Ihab Fala representing the Lebanon in his trusty E46. He says we won't get to see the Sylvia until the next round, and do you know what, I'm excited because I've never seen it in person. I was looking forward to seeing it. This 46 though, she's been around a while. He had with the 2JZ and oh yeah, 800 brake horsepower. I didn't know that. Underneath the hood. So what can Ihab do on his second qualifying run? Just waiting on the smoke to clear. Marshall's asking, are you happy? So they are giving the drivers the option. If you're happy enough and you want to go, you can go. If you want to wait and let it clear more, you can. So no, everyone's happy. Thumbs up. And away they go. Ihab Fala throwing it in, locking the front brakes. Nice initiation there, getting the car right where it's meant to be. As the JZ screaming coming around that first corner. Big, fast, snappy transition, getting out nice and wide early to line himself up for outer zone 2. Does a good job the whole way through outer zone 2. Ihab Fala doing a nice job here as he makes his way back to the centre section, flicks back one more time into the decel zone, dab of the handbrake, but maybe just came on the power a small bit too early. She jumps forward on him, but he does a good job to try and get it back on line for the last 2 inside clips and bringing it over the line. Ihab Fala, not a bad run at all. Watching Ehab's replay here. Score drops in of a 73 for Ehab. He's going to be delighted with that one, especially when it's in your second choice of car. He said he'd be more comfortable in the Silvia, but that's round 2. So we're heading back to the line, and who do we have next? Up next, it is Lalu. Ali Al-Bushi, Omani driver. Nice, good, fast first run. What can Lalu do in his second run here? One of the nicest guys in the grids. Really helps everyone out. You can see him waving to the marshals as he's coming up. He's just such a friendly character. Smiles all around from Lalu. He gets set to go off for his second qualifying run here at round 1. Thumbs up from the marshal, and away he goes. So we see him making his way down the straight, starting to wiggle it into that first corner. Early initiation, but it looks like it's paid off for Lalu. He puts that back wheel right out wide, tucking the nose in now for the inside clip, doing a good job here. As he transitions for the first time, hits the second inside clip, lines himself up lovely and wide to fill outer zone 2. We see Lalu now dialing an angle all the way to keep that car in between the white lines, doing a great job. Can't see him as he makes his way through his own smoke. Flicking back there now into the decel zone. This is a very good run from Lalu. Very calculated. Years of experience behind the steering wheel of that 180SX, and it is paying off. The Omani driver definitely here to make a statement this weekend. Yeah, just watching Lalu's replay here. Just look at him. You can even see him inside the car. He's just so relaxed and calm. It's just looks like he's out for a Sunday drive, really, doesn't he? Cool shot there of coming through his own smoke. White cars and white smokes look class. But yeah, 76.7 for Lalu, so he will be happy with that one. Okay, so we're going to head back to the line, and it is Antali Sherbak in another one of these unbelievable Z's. We see him just warming up them front tires. I love watching the burnout box because every driver has different notions of what they're doing, and then some people go in actually not knowing what the idea is, and then they just go into a heap of rings. So everyone has their own different methods. Obviously he's trying to scrub them front tires as much as possible. The rear tires will warm up very fast. I'd say now he'll give it one kind of blast of a burnout out of the box maybe, and just get a bit of heat in the rear tires now. Yeah, I suppose each driver probably has a different ritual for the burnout box. There's no right or wrong method. Okay, so Anatoly Sherbak on the line. Another one of these crazy Z's. Okay. Away he goes for his second qualifying run. Throwing in nice initiation. Very, very fast through that first zone. Doing a good job here. See how he gets on when he tucks the nose in and makes his way for the first transition. Another guy, snappy, fast transition, just like the judges were asking. So you see him on the front brakes now, trying to get the rear of that car out nice and wide, pushing wide. So he makes his way into the decel zone. Doing a good job through the second last corner. One more transition, one more inner clip, and then he brings it over the finish line. That's a good run there for Antali Sherbak. Sherbak's replay here of his second qualifying run, and then And we're going to be heading back to the line for another driver. An 81.7, yeah, that's a very calculated, good run. The judges liked it as well. He's going to be pumped on that one, and we definitely, hopefully should see him in battle action tomorrow night. But next up, it is another Omani driver, and it is Tarouk Al-Shahani. 180 SX V8. Lovely looking car, really cool. Not sure what's going on with this camera we're looking at the moment. I'm over there in that building. See the light down the bottom? That's me. Okay, so we're heading back to the line. We have Tarouk Al-Shahani on the line. His brother Ali not joining him on the grid. Usually we have two Shahani brothers. But we've only one for this round. Hopefully we'll see Ali back for round 2. But let's see what Tarouk can do. Another well-capable driver, not a stranger to podiums here in OIDC. I'm not sure what's going on. The car's left the line. I heard it, but we were looking at a replay camera. Yeah, nice initiation there. Through that first zone. Doing a good job. Flicking back now. Nice and wide. Look at that. Right out to the outer line, just as the judge's ass. Filling that second outer zone there perfectly. So you see him make their way through the middle again, getting ready to enter the decel zone. A little dab of the handbrake, slows it down there. Filling that zone near perfect. 2 more inner clips, 1 more transition. Tarouk Al-Shahani, another good run in the bag. So we're just watching the replay here. Tarouk Al-Shahani doing a nice job. A 79. I think the judge has seen 1 or 2 little things that I didn't see. But still another score on the board for Tarouk. So wait and see where he ends up in the top 32. But next up it is Clint Van Oort. This will be lap number 5 if I'm correct for Clint. Car arrived this morning, 7 a.m. Loads of work done, him and the team working on it. Got him out for qualifying. So let's see what the Dutch driver can do here. Looking very focused. Or he could be very tired as well, because I'm sure it was an early start and a nervous night's sleep, wondering would the car arrive. But it's here, Clint. Don't worry. That's you do you. So Clint leaves the line. Throwing it in. Nice initiation there from Clint Van Oort. But just getting a small bit wide towards the end of that zone. Maybe dropping 1 wheel or half a wheel. Tucks the nose in nicely now and gets ready for that first transition. Locks the front brakes all the way through the inner clip. That was very cool to watch. As we see Clint now lovely and wide, hugging that outer line. The back of that S14 Sylvia as he makes his way through the centre section one more time. Flicks back. And doing a great job there in that zone. See him on the front brakes, smoking them tyres out of it. Tucks the nose in for both inside clips and over the line. That's a great run there. Clint Van Oort, that was probably the only thing there. And I'd say maybe half a wheel, if even at the end of the zone, just went out a little bit wide. Look at this, locked the front wheel all the way through. Doing a great job. Hugging the white outer line there. And 84 scoring the board. Judges like that run. Clint to be happy, especially, you know, after the days after having. Okay, so we've got 5 drivers left. Up next, it is the crazy man from El Salvador. It is Nasser Harbali in his insane 370Z. What can Nasser do on his second run here to secure a spot in the battle action? Well capable driver, always does something crazy. It was actually the last thing I said to him today. I was like, do something mad this weekend. And he just smiled and said, of always. I'm super excited to see. Just waiting on a bit more smoke to clear it off first. Should get all the people in attendance just a fan so they can blow it all one direction. So Nasser makes his way down, throwing it in, nice initiation. Putting that back wheel right wide on the white line as he makes his way through the inside clip, getting ready to flick back. Lovely transition, so fast, so snappy there from Nasser, doing a great job. So you hear the screams when he passes by the judging tower. Hugging the outer line again in that second outside zone as he makes his way through the centre section for the second time into the decel zone. Just a little dab there to kill off speed, steady him up, and away he goes again. Nasser Harbali definitely doing a great job on this second qualifying run here as he takes it through the last clip, over the finish line, and another 360 to celebrate. We call it 370. 370 doing a 360. Yeah, that's a tongue twister. Let's see, did the judges like that run as much as me? Nasser not doing nothing too wild, but doing everything right, putting the car exactly where he's meant to be, listening and briefing, and there you have it, a 90 puts him high up the order for tomorrow night's battles. Delighted to see that. And then we're going to head back to the line, and our next driver is the one, the only, Benedictus Cherba, in his brand new 2 Series G42 BMW. I do think Cherba might have just created the nicest looking drift car in the world. It's just, I don't know, there's something about it I look at and it's just amazing. So it seems to be driving as well as it looks. Everything, absolutely everything on the car was made in-house. Him and his team, guys, build serious cars to a serious standard. So let's see what Cherba can do here on his second qualifying run. Representing Lithuania. That front bumper I think looks amazing as well. I think the whole thing, I don't know, just looks crazy. The car does. Look, the focus in the eyes. He gives a thumbs up without even turning his head. That is the Cherba that we know and love. Mr. Serious, but you know, he's such a nice guy, really. You have to be that serious when you're in these zones. This is the top level. Mad Cherba on the back spoiler. He's making his own thing. He's starting his own thing. Will he go full Mad Cherba? Time will tell. Okay, thumbs up from the start line. Marshall clicks it into gear and away Cherba goes. Nice initiation there from Benedictus Cherba, getting nice and wide in that first zone, making his way around the corner through the first transition. Look at the speed and angle he carried through that transition. That was absolutely insane. As we see Cherba now perfectly in that second outer zone, back wheel right to the white line, bringing it through, transition into the decel zone. Oh, just a little wobble there from Cherba, but he holds it, gets the car back to where it needs to go as he comes through to the centre section for the last time. One more transition and over the finish line. Mad Cherba is here to play. Really enjoying this transition here. Boom, the speed, the angle he carried. That is the Cherba that we expect to see, that we know and love here in OIDC. That was it. That little wobble, probably the only thing I've seen now off. But yet again, I'm not a judge, so don't quote me on it. An 89.7, still a good score, still a great run from Benedictus Cherba. He's going to be pumped with that one. And we're heading back to the line. Up next, it is the Irish driver of Tommy Kiley. It is 180 SX, 2 JZ, 1000 brake horsepower, as he told me that with a cheeky smile. And Kylie's car, green this year, and it looks amazing. It looked class last year, white and blue, but the green and blue, there's something about it, in my opinion. It's just such a nice combination. The focus in the eyes of the young man from Ireland, thumbs up to the camera as he gets ready to leave the line for his second run. What can Kylie do here to push himself up the order, secure a spot in battle action tomorrow night? I see him turning on the GoPro right behind him just before he leaves the line. Another thing that looks so cool with the car is it doesn't have wing mirrors. There's no mirrors on the side of the car, and it looks amazing. Probably not great for reversing into your pit area, but it looks class. That spoiler as well. Absolutely in love with that spoiler. Tomas Kylie, known for having cool, flashy cars. Oh, Starlight Marshall coming up to him just to have a chat or something. I'm not 100% sure. So let's see what Kylie can do here on his second run. Thumbs up from the Marshall, and away Tommy goes for his second run. Nice initiation there from Kylie. Doing a good job getting nice and wide out in that first outer zone as he pushes all the way through, lining up lovely on the front brakes, tucks the nose for the inside clip. Wow, that was a snappy fast transition. He obviously seen what Turbo was doing beforehand, as we see Kylie now lovely and wide, filling the outer zone. Kylie is going for top spot here. He wants that number one place in qualifying tonight here at round 1 OIDC. Doing a good job there. A little dab of the handbrake in the diesel zone, settles the car, and now it's full throttle straight through the last transition and over the finish line. Tommy Kylie definitely back to play this year in OIDC. He got top step on the podium at the last round in the 2025 season in Soha. And he definitely wants more podiums this season. Just watch this replay so fast from Kylie, doing a great job all places around. And one more time, how cool is that car? Looking green. A 77. The judges obviously seen some things that we didn't, or then again, I'm an excited drift fan. They're looking at the criteria from the driver's briefing. Two completely different things. Okay, so we've two more drivers left. Up next, representing Oman, it is Ahmed Al-Amri. Back and means business this year. The car shut down on his first run. All pressure. Hopefully him and the team got it fixed. He's smiling. Thumbs up. What can Al-Amri do here? Or will this be a big upset at this first round? Championship contender maybe not making it in. No, we're not saying that. I know Al-Amri can do this. He's well capable. He's such an aggressive driver. Brilliant car. Hopefully everything just plays ball, connects the dots and gets himself a decent score in, but he cannot play it safe. He has to go all out. He knows the standard of drivers on the grid this weekend. What can Ahmed Al-Amri do as he tears down the straight, throwing it in? Nice initiation there from Ahmed Al-Amri, doing a great job filling that first zone perfectly. Listen to the screams of that V8 as he makes his way around the first corner, fast through the first transition, entering into the second outer zone. The screams of the V8 as it passes by the building here. The floor is shaking as he goes by again. Out nice and wide into the diesel zone. Nice dab of the handbrake, settles the car. Maybe just back on power a small bit early as it jumped out of the zone. But Al-Amri's doing great to hold it. One more clip, one more transition, and he's bringing it over the line. And that's a score on the board for Ahmed Al-Amri. The Omani driver is going to be buzzing after that one. Great run there from Ahmed Al-Amri. The roar from the crowd outside, a fan favourite. Omani crowds getting behind the Omani drivers. This was the only thing I seen that was like big enough. It kind of a little bit early. Watch, he jumped out of the clip there, so he's kind of off throttle to get back in it. But an 81.3, the judges liking that run. He'll be happy with it. So now we have one more driver. 2025 champion, two-time champion, Ali Maqseed, representing Kuwait, 2JZ GT86. And Ali told us last night he's taking this year seriously. When he said that to me, I was like, why did you not take it serious last year because you won the championship? He said, no, he's here to play, he's full focus, needs everything to work out for him. And you know, with a driver of Ali's experience, once you have that mindset, that's a dangerous combination in my opinion. So let's see what Maqseed can do as he leaves the line. Banging through the gears, he makes his way down the last car in qualifying tonight. Lovely initiation, right on the white line from start to finish. That was near perfect for zone 1 as Ali now makes his way into the first transition. Very fast, full throttle transition, getting lovely and wide, lining up for outer zone 2. Maqseed's on a great run here as we see him heading back through the centre section one more time. Gets ready to enter the decel zone, small dab of the handbrake, big angle to scrub speed, and does a brilliant job in that zone as well. This could be a high scoring run for the last run from Ali Maqseed as he makes his way over the line. I really like that run. A 360 to celebrate. Woo! And on form, Ali Maqseed's a dangerous thing, that's all I'll say. He's coming for a 3-time championship this year. Look at the speed there. Look how wide he got out after that inner clip. It's put him lovely and perfect for this outer zone. Probably one of the best transitions I've seen all night through that section there. Ali Maqseed definitely came to play this year. A 90.3, all guns blazing. The crowd goes wild for the 2025 champion, and that is it. That's qualifying done for round 1 of OIDC 2026. So really quick, I just want to thank the people who made this possible. Shell, Red Bull Mobile, Muscat Knights, and the Minister of Culture, Sport and Youth. So yeah, from me, Mike Leeson, we're going to leave it here. That's qualifying done. The top 32 will be posted very shortly on the OIDC social media, and all the drivers will be sharing it. We are back tomorrow evening at 4:10 Omani time. Now make sure, check where you are in the world. Omani time. It's 4:10 for the battles. I will see you then, guys. Thank you very much.
طول بطمان كافيا للمفاجأة التي ستحدث يوم غد أم لا؟